Back to the upside we go this morning. Futures positive to the tune of about 0.8% right now for the NASDAQ. S&P trailing ever so slightly. 0.5% back higher ahead of what a week to come. The entire Mag 7 set to come through with earnings reports, basically. All of the big tech names out of the NASDAQ going to report later in the week this week. Not too much this morning in the way of earnings. McDonald's notable. Moving around here a little bit off a bit of a miss for MCD. There's 0.84 now. Session highs as we get going here at 8:34. The NASDAQ, oh yeah, by the way, the Fed coming up on Wednesday as well this week. We'll get comments. It's going to be about the comments from Fed Chair Powell. Once again, no increase or no cut expected here. I'll bring up the Fed funds tools. We can have a look. 95.9% right now for July. That's no move whatsoever on interest rates. But if you go out to September, that suddenly becomes 89.6. So we are starting to see that movement down to the quarter point or movement towards the quarter point. And then that's November, pricing in better part of half or 50 basis points anyways worth of cut if you go out to November. But yeah, chopping around both Thursday and Friday last week into the weekend. We're trying to break back higher here to start off the week. Crypto as well. Nice move here.
Yeah, well, there was that Nashville conference over the weekend. Donald Trump, J.D. Vance there, making big pronouncements, saying if he wins, basically he's going to start a crypto fund of sorts for the U.S. government, not to sell your crypto. So a good move for Bitcoin and the like on the weekend there. We'll keep an eye on that. Lots of different upgrades and downgrades to talk about today. Big tech in focus as the big four are all reporting this week.
Yeah, unreal. We'll get into it later on in the week, but I mean, Thursday is the big day with Apple coming through and a few others as well to touch on. But I want to mention this 1.9% right now for Tesla as well. Morgan Stanley putting Tesla on their top pick list after it made that nice pullback. So they bought the dip at 220 there for Tesla. Back to normally scheduled programming around here. Good morning, guys.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
It's not bad news from Trump. Like he didn't go all out saying that they were going to create like a strategic reserve or anything like that. But he joins the hold party. So there you go. Bitcoin almost at 70,000. I think we'll have a shot at that this week. Should be good. The rotation continues. So you see a lot of the catch-up names. Wow, what a move by 3M on Friday. That was absolutely insane. We'll be watching some crypto. If we break that 70,000, got Mara lined up as well. Tesla's going to be in play. I saw in the chat already someone was like, is the NVDA going to pop and fade at the same level 3 days in a row? Just might. But if third time's going to be a charm, then we'll be there for it. We're locked and loaded. I had a good, refreshing weekend. I know we want to get an update on how the games went as well. Mr. Katina, the more important games, not the Olympic Games.
Yeah, the Olympics, no one's watching those. Yeah, welcome. It's nice to be back. My voice is gone. We had 5 games. It was fantastic. And then at the end of it, of course, we actually got mentioned possible tournament out in Kentucky, but here's a picture here. Trophy bigger than the girls, and it was absolutely fantastic. So we were able to lift it up there, and it was such a fun tournament, fun weekend there in Royal York. So I want to thank all of the participants in that one, and it was a heck of a lot of fun. What was the big trade on Friday? Do you remember? Was there one?
Well, there were multiple. The biggest trades were probably two things. The short the chips again.
Okay.
The 117 NVIDIA, but there was also waste management got destroyed. We will short that one all day.
I saw 3M. You mentioned
the missed opportunity was 3M, no question, because all the money was made short, and like the only thing that was going up was 3M.
Right.
And I don't know if any of the boys were. I don't think anybody on the floor was really trading it because the focus was on chips and Tesla and all that stuff. But we did talk specifically with Ryan on Friday about 3M. And what's interesting is Ryan, I didn't actually know this. Ryan was saying that he's primarily a long trader. He likes to go long stocks, doesn't really do much shorting, so wasn't really going to do anything on Friday. He was actually going to sit it out. Friday's usually a quiet day for him.
Right.
And then decided to only trade 3M, which was the stock that if you wanted to be long something on Friday, on earnings, we talk about this all the time, and it's an important thing. You want stock that's going to move. Right? Like 3M, maybe it's boring, maybe people don't care about it, but you had a huge breakout like a downtrend on the daily here. And once it got through all of that junk, it just trended and trended and trended higher. So like that 112 was that local high on the daily. And even when it finally slowed down, like at the open, when it kind of slowed down for a couple of red candles here and there, you actually still trended higher over and over again. So this is one that, as we talked about, maybe it needs a couple of days to settle down. But on Friday, we talked about this maybe pulling back and getting into like a prior resistance level, like a 20 or something like that, and then calming itself down. But wow, 3M was an absolute rocket ship. I don't know that there's an earnings name that's going to be able to do that this morning because McDonald's isn't moving, and ON, not bad. I mean, ON Semi up 7% right now, although the volume pretty light. Like that's the one that's going. I don't know if it has the same continuation that 3M does.
Shout out to SM here. Thanks God Sean is back. Yeah, thank God for other things, please. I'm back. We're back all week. But then next week, you get the dynamic duo again of Obi and Neil, as I will be in Adam DeLue's country there. I will be in London, England for a week. And the wife and I are very, very happy with that one. And then we come right back to another tournament. We cut our trip short to come back for another baseball tournament. And that's pretty much it after that, which is really nice. We have a house league practice today. I have Tesla. Ryan Fluna only goes long, eh?
Well, he says
what a great guy that Ryan Fluna.
Strongly prefers.
Yeah, he's propping up this market, man. We like that. Thank you, Mr. Faluna. But here comes Tesla right here, trying to get higher and higher and higher, man. Trying to break through this 228. Let's go. It's going to be your trade idea number one. Today is going to be Tesla. Let's give it back to the most two handsome gentlemen on the show with both Brendan and Sharif. But if you saw Fabian, then you know.
Why we keep him,
we hide him
off the camera.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. Here is Bitcoin right now. That's the daily chart. So we're right back to these levels up here, 70, 71, as the guys were saying, up to 72,000. Yeah, if you missed it on the weekend, I mean, they both said the same thing, but both Trump and JD Vance coming out saying that the U.S. must, dominate the space in crypto in general. Made some comments regarding the monetary stance of the U.S. government. But I was just touching on some of the ETFs with inflows higher again on the week last week, 156 billion in assets as well coming from the Michigan State Pension Fund going into IBIT, I saw on Friday. As well. So, yeah, I mean, the march higher continues here for Bitcoin.
And it was interesting last week. We actually saw net inflows into BTC, the ETFs, and net outflows out of the ETH ETF. So that was interesting because we were all really expecting that Ethereum ETF to pick up pace. It looks like it was a sell the news event. Separately, building on what Brenda was saying about the Nashville conference, Donald Trump wanting to make U.S. the crypto capital of the world, basically saying he wants to fire Gary Gensler on day one. Questions about whether or not he has the authority to do that. He has to fire him with cause. So lots of different things that could potentially develop from this, Brendo, but good luck on the weekend there.
Fired.
You're fired. He's great at doing that.
Gonna bring out the finger again from that. What was that show called? The Apprentice.
Yeah. And the little boardroom table that he
that was
fired
a set. Remember, he used to open up. That was
so funny.
And he just came by and
fired.
I was last night about midnight or so, or maybe a little bit earlier than that. I looked down at my phone and I got a fill. Is this my stream deck even up? Sold some Solana 190. I don't even know what it's at right now. Some of these names just continue to go higher and higher. I think the HODL would be the right play. I'm turning this bear into a bull. So. There we go. So we'll do that one. I mean, the most impressive name here. Well, we could talk all about crypto. I mean, I think that's the right play. I mean, why not? Why can you come out and build an oil reserve, a gold reserve, this and that? I think it's smart. I think it's well thought of, and I like the move. I don't know, whatever. What are you just going to keep printing money? Is that what you're going to do? Like, put your money somewhere, and if it means that, hey. And again, I don't know what the majority of holders, what their nationality are. Are there a lot of Americans that hold Bitcoin? Probably. There are a lot of probably Chinese that hold Bitcoin, Russian. I feel like the more this the more Bitcoin goes up, the better it is for everybody in general. But I think, getting that kind of a play on board Yeah, go for it. I think it's smart. You're starting to break higher now, obviously on crypto here, and yeah, Coinbase up above 250. I know we're supposed to be having, and I can see him getting ready there, Michael Noss. I know it's been a tough trade for Bitcoin for sure, as we've talked about it with him a couple times, and it looked great up here. And then it tanked pretty hard, like 72,000 down to 54. I mean, it keeps bouncing off that 54, which is great. But what a great 2 weeks it's been. And now I'm interested to hear Michael's take here, because this looks pretty strong to me, man. And I think if you're going to go long now, you can almost go all in honestly on a chart like this, because right now it's 65. Feel like you have a nice little spot there. If you're wrong, you can push it down to 63, 64. That's well worth it. That's less than 10% worth of risk to see what happens here on this kind of a talk. This is exactly what we want if you're holding Bitcoin. You want this kind of talk, national security, the party that's favored heavily in Vegas to win is talking all about it. So I like Bitcoin here, and I think it is. And again, interested to hear what Michael says, but I think it is a chart that should not be ignored, and I would not be taking anything out on this break. In fact, I would be going longer.
Yeah, I mean, the only issue I have today would be, as a day trade, you have this like declining high, like a high thing going on Bitcoin. It's like a bull flag, whatever you want to call it on the daily, but you got lower highs through, and it kind of needs to break out just above 70,000, which that happens. I mean, we've all seen, anybody's probably seen this pattern before. Like, you call it what you want. I could draw a line here, so you have a channel. It breaks out the channel. Everything goes absolutely ham. So I like that notion. I just think for today, if you don't actually break out that top, what happens if you climb 70,000, fail to break, and then come back underneath? Just want to have something set up for that just in case. And that brings me to, Mara's 23, it's right back there. Mara 23, big resistance, and then it turned into support just above it. If we do end up failing this 70,000 breakout just today, then I think this is a name for a pop and fade. Now, I'm bullish on the stock today. I just don't know that I want to be buying that top if we're not taking out the highs over there on Mara. So I'll be looking at Mara and at that key level. Randy, thank you very much for the refill. Appreciate it, brother.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Randy had quite the weekend fishing, I saw there. That was, and I got to go fishing, man. I got to get there. You said some smallmouth bass, all that kind of stuff. Then I won't lose my voice as much. I'll be doing more of this and less of that.
It's very soothing on the voice.
That would be very nice. Yeah, people saying I have now a voice for radio. I don't want to take over Brendan's job here, all right, we'll talk about that, Randy. All right, I believe we have Michael coming up very, very soon. So what's going to be another monster week here, and the biggest week for earnings coming through. I mean, I think that you're looking at the NASDAQ with obviously continuously. I mean, Friday was good, and it looks like you're starting to bounce a little bit here now too. But this is going to be a sort of I don't want to say a make or break week, but it would be nice to get back above the 50-period moving average now on the NASDAQ. If we could do that, you're about $6-7 away now on the Qs, which is a percentage point. So I think that probably happens. And it would be nice to get above this 490 and see if we can sort of forget about what happened, last week there. We got some bad news from Google. Not bad news, but with that Search GPT coming through now with OpenAI, and that sort of hindered, sort of the love on the move back upside for Google. But again, nice dip buy opportunities in many of these names. I don't even think valuation is that bad on some of them. NVIDIA, AMD, some of the chip names, as we said, keep getting hit, but that's to be expected in this kind of environment. So as profits get taken and some kind of sector rotation happens, but the breadth of the market's been very, very plentiful. So lots of places to go and hide out. And Russell. One place, the Russells, that pulled back a little bit. Did it go back up on Friday?
Russell made a nice recovery on Friday. V-shaped for the Russell on Friday, of sorts. I mean, it's not a direct V-shape. It took all day to get back to the highs, and now it's gapping even higher back on the breakout for the Russell.
All right, let's go back to the desk.
Let's bring him in. He is ready and waiting. There he is, Michael Noss. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. As the guys were saying, tons of opportunity around earnings season coming up, not only from last week, but into this week. We get the Fed this week. You want to talk a little bit about a trade idea that we've touched on before on this show many, many times, and that's the after the earnings move type of setup here.
Yeah, and this is something that I'm excited for that will carry in from a swing trading point of view is way more exciting than it is after a day trading point of view. So we talk about this all the time. I bring this idea to you once a quarter and probably a couple times to see if there's some good setups. But the idea is simple, that the day traders are very focused the day of, the day after that earnings report, where all of the volatility is going crazy. That's the best place for day traders. Now, for swing traders, a little bit after that, that's where things get interesting. Give it, a couple days to maybe 2 weeks or so. And the reason for that is it sometimes takes the market a period of time for the financial analysts and the big banks and the institutions. They're not acting the day of. They're taking their time and reading the earnings report and updating models and doing all this, and then they start to take the trade. So I just wanted to show this is one example of a trade that I gave you guys this time last quarter with VLO. As always, the vertical yellow line, that's the earnings date on our chart. We always highlight that for you guys with the trade ideas chart. Speaking of, Trader TV 30 in all capital letter is still working. I actually checked before I popped on here. I don't think it's supposed to be, so make sure you grab that while you can. But yeah, on our charts, we highlight these earnings. VLO, you can see the last time. I just grabbed the slide from the last time. And then the next slide is what it's looking like today. So great trade. I had some of this. We were talking about it on the After Hours show all the time. This was around February, March. We really liked energy during that time. VLO made this amazing trade. So again, the idea is simple. I'm a technical analyst. I'm not ever going to read the earnings reports or know what they are. But by just looking at the trend of the stock after earnings, I can guess and I can assume whether or not institutions are going to be accumulating the stock or selling it off. And it gives you this nice binary event to trade around. So what we're looking for is we're looking for a strong earnings report, some sort of pattern that we can play off of, maybe a little bit of a pullback or a base. We can take our trade off of that, and then we hope we're on the side of the institution. So as always, you can email info@trade-ideas.com. You can get this scan from us. We can give it to you if you're a Trade Ideas subscriber. But I have 3 examples for you guys today. I always like to bring some charts. So this first one is one that keeps ringing a bell as a recent high flyer, this AEHR. I see this talked about online all the time. No real idea what they do, but had a great earnings report. I've highlighted the gap that it's had there. It's pulled in over the last few days, filled the gap, and then had a strong day yesterday. I also highlighted on the top that I really like that it's got a 21% short float. So nearly 1/4 of all shares are being shorted. That could be very interesting if this thing starts to get going. A nice move here from $10 up to like 20. So those shorts are probably a little bit nervous if this thing can get going. And again, the trade here is very simple. We're not just going to buy these things today. We're going to look for some continuation in the direction of the gap to show us that there's some institutional ownership. For me, the stop will just go over under whatever the most recent swing low is. This one here is a bigger guy, Bank of America. The financials have been absolutely insane. We've been talking about this, I know, a lot on the After Hours show as well. Financials broke out at the same time we had that small cap breakout versus big tech. Seems to be a rotation into financials happening. This Bank of America had a nice breakout and that big strong green candle on the earnings day, did fantastic. And ever since then, it's been this kind of low volume pullback with the rest of the market. So I just drew in a simple trend line. My game plan is going to be wait for a break and a close over that trend line. That will be my entry, and then a stop will go under it, whatever that last swing low is. Last but not least is MEI, and this is some sort of electronics company. I like this one for a couple reasons, but the main one is that horizontal line that I've drawn in. So again, great earnings day. That's the main catalyst we're looking for. Gapped up on earnings, ran all day. So whatever the news was, the market liked that. And this nice orderly pullback that's sitting on that prior breakout zone around like $13, give or take. So my game plan on this one's the same. I'm going to wait for that trend line to break and to get a close or some sort of solid trading action above that trend line. I'll pick some up. My stop will go under this swing low. And how long I'm looking to play in those trades, if you remember that VLO chart that was the second slide there, that ran for weeks. So these aren't quick scalps. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see if this earnings report was a change in fundamentals. Are institutions now very interested in buying this thing? Because when institutions buy, that takes weeks or months, right? So For how long I'm planning on holding them, I hope for a long period of time, but if I'm wrong, I'll obviously be out incredibly quickly.
One of the interesting aspects of this idea is that they typically set up and take place while attention from the overall market is elsewhere, given what's coming up this week. Do you find that volume needs to come back in, as you were saying with BAC, for example, a bit of a low volume pullback? Do you find that volume needs to come back in to really validate this?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So it's always good to remember the goal that we're trying to achieve. And that's, are the institutions using whatever was reported in earnings in order to buy the stock? So for that, yes, you need to see a little bit of volume spike. You want to see a push up in the name. You want to see strong closes. Those to me are evidence that institutions are buying names, because as we know, if I'm going to buy however many $1 billion of a company, I just can't hit the button and buy. I have to slowly over time add my position in, and that creates increased volume and it creates these nice smooth trends. So ideally a high volume breakout. Depending on what's going on in the market, I might take a lower volume one.
Yeah, very simple but very effective idea. As you said, happens 4 times a year. We won't tell anyone, but again, if anybody wants it, Trader TV 30 until it's not available anymore. Go grab your copy of Trade Ideas right now, Mr. Noss. Thank you.
Awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.
Yes, we will. And hey, you know, nothing like an accidental deal in there, which we're not going to keep harping on, but as long as it's there, Trader TV 30, get that discount on, because that's what you should do
telling you.
when it accidentally happens.
Wait a second, there's a deal?
There's a deal, apparently.
Oh, Trader TV 30, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you better get it now before it goes away.
I'm just saying.
You know.
Keep that.
Oh, yeah, Trader TV 30 is still,
30.
Okay. So you normally can get 20, and now you can get 30 still, right now.
As of now, and until we actually get it fixed. But you know what? Like, as far as I'm concerned, man.
Or is it fixed?
Oh, it's not.
Who knows? That's why you mean.
You got to try it.
Nobody knows.
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
And everyone's going to find out.
Michael doesn't know either.
Well, Michael,
you know.
He only knows the
one
chart.
changing it.
He only knows the chart.
Yeah, he doesn't know reports. He doesn't know anything over there.
No, he doesn't have to.
All right, I'll talk to him about that.
Actually, I really like what he's showing there with that VLO, if only because this is a pattern we're going to see today. And when you have stocks break out of, I love when a stock breaks out of a defined channel. So that's exactly what you're getting. You get this like lower high. We showed this with Bitcoin. BTC is doing a similar thing on the daily chart. And when you get moves out of ranges like that, you know, fun things can happen. Tesla was an example. Ooh, I don't have the top of that trend line anymore. That's interesting. Yeah, Tesla was an example of this when it broke out of this long channel. And it was a strong, strong move to the upside when it did. It'll be interesting to see if some names can break out of Friday and Thursday highs. The host of names that basically put in like double tops or, you know, double barrel resistance levels. ARM at 156, AMD at 143, NVIDIA at 117, Microsoft at 430. Microsoft could be breaking. This is attempted to break once already. We just had this line where everything was nasty on Thursday, and then things tried to rebound into it without actually breaking out on Friday. So you've got these 2-day channels for day traders that we'll be interested in today. But as Michael said, as a swing trader, you want that big breakout on the daily, which means let that sucker close above or below, and then you get the mover. I feel like ON is interesting for earnings, but there's going to be so much this week. Everyone's talking about the big Fab Four that are reporting this week. Man, we get Mara, Coinbase. There's a lot of interesting names that are going to move that are on a different beat, I think, than just big cap tech. So that's where you can deploy some of those strategies.
All right. I'm going to be talking about crypto tonight with Michael. So join me tonight on the recap show. We'll be going over crypto. I thought we could have a good opportunity to talk about it here. And we had other ideas, but Coinbase 255. I mean, I'm looking at that to break out longer through here as well. I mean, that's a level that we're at right now, right here, right now. So I feel like this kind of a break early, boom, let's take that to the upside and actually put some winners on board here early if we can on Coinbase with Crypto Spot. I can look at it because I see my guys back here right now. What's up, Patrick? All right, so we'll look at some Mara as we go. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet here today. But yeah, I mean, it's that same These levels are still wicked. And I just think that now, finally, there was that day a little while ago where we called this play right here. This play, this 23 break, we were like, we're going to take this on a breakout. Today, this trade will be had, my friends. This trade will be had, and this will be a banger of a trade. We're going to go long Mara, going through $23 right here today, and we're going to see what actually happens. Real traders unite. We're back. It's Monday. We got 5 days of this. It's going to be a monster week. Adara, are we ready for her?
Oh, yeah.
Then let's rock it.
Some interesting names here on the upgrades list, starting with Northrop Grumman getting an upgrade from Deutsche Bank. Apple ahead of its earnings on Thursday, actually trading a bit lower today, but getting this upgrade from TD Cowen. Deutsche Bank upgrading 3M after its report on Friday, and we have Carrier getting an upgrade from BofA Securities. On the downgrade side, another earnings name to watch out for, ARM Holdings reporting on Wednesday, getting this downgrade here from HSBC Securities and down about 2%. Bristol-Myers Squibb, another earnings name from Friday, getting this downgrade here from Barclays, despite a pretty strong earnings reaction on Friday during the session. We have Charles Schwab here as well, getting a downgrade from Piper Sandler. And last but not least, Stellantis getting a downgrade from Deutsche Bank, down about 3.5%. A couple of interesting names here on the list, guys.
Yeah, ARM, obviously, with their reports, going to be interesting. Well, we actually was just mentioning it, but we didn't really go in detail over the levels. Last day of the month, ARM is going to report. I'm going to pay for locates in a second because we usually have to pay and want to be prepared for ARM. So on Friday, ARM didn't have, a lot of things were weak on Friday in the chip space. ARM was just another one of them. 156 was the spot, certainly on Thursday, again on Friday. It was a good opportunity in the afternoon for a 150 short. That might come into play off of the open. But if it breaks out here, it's different from NVIDIA and AMD in the sense that the resistance that you were left with at the end of the day Friday is not the same high that you had the day before. So it's actually making lower highs there on ARM, as opposed to like NVIDIA, much more clean up there, the 117, and then it's kind of bouncing off the key level at 112. AMD's almost more tight at that 143. Like, these are setting a little bit more up for a breakout off of that high, like AMD is here. Whereas if we get a break on the chip names, ARM would just be breaking from 150 to then retest that 156 level. So I feel like if we get these breakouts here today on, say, the AMD 43, let's assume NVIDIA actually goes, ARM would still be in the pocket underneath that, in theory, underneath that 156. So I want to be ready for it, and we have to pay for locates, which oftentimes I do forget to do. So might as well get that done at 9 o'clock.
All right. So I've upgraded a few stocks there today. We will look at, I like that ARM. I don't have it on the list, but that's a nice pullback. I mean, this is a name that is something that we know there's going to be a lot of interest in buying this name. We still obviously have SoftBank involved here. I don't know what percentage they are, but down 1.72 in a market that's up almost 1%. Seems a little bit strange to me as well, but ARM's now broken below the 50-period moving average. I believe this is going to be a short today, not a long, so we'll have to look for that. And obviously a pump up to 155 would be really nice. That's not going to happen, so you're going to have to look at maybe a 150 fade for sure there on ARM. I think that's a great opportunity. I like that 150 short on ARM. So yeah, there's going to be. Oh man, I don't even have Mara or ARM written on here, and now we just go 2 for 2, I think, with those ideas. So, ARM and Mara getting rearmed today with some more ideas as we go. So working on the sticky note, stay tuned, it's out soon.
Going to the moon right now. Sharif and I were just discovering that there's 2 different lows on the market. Here is L with a huge gap this morning. This is insurance, energy, hospitality, packaging industries company. Beat on earnings. It's gapping up to here, 84 this morning. Beat on earnings across the board. They're also changing CEOs. So another one, not a lot of volume behind this, but LOEWS versus LOWS for L on the NYSE. Great looking daily chart there too.
Not bad at all. Actually breaking out through that $80 level. I can't show it to you right now, but yeah, that's a great breakout. 4.25% on the day.
Sure.
Should we do the future?
Yeah, let's get into the market here.
All right, we closed a smidge below that 5,500 level on Friday, 54.99 and change. We're above it right now. Let's see if we can use 5,500 as support. The overnight low takes us to 54.96. The overnight high right now is 55.34, but there's a key level of resistance here going back to the 22nd of July at 55.50. Let's see if we can break that.
If you haven't done so yet, go down to the description of this video right now. Grab the watch list. There's a link there. All you have to do is enter your email address, and then we send you everything you need to know. We do your homework for you every single morning and send it right to your inbox. Let's kick it off with Tesla this morning. Morgan Stanley adding Tesla shares to their top picks list. 1.6% right now to the upside. It's been a choppy few days here. You got to go all the way back to the beginning of last week where we had the down move, and then we were kind of bouncing around at the bottom end of the range for Tesla. I mean, there's a lot of, wow, 21 years ago, Tesla was incorporated.
Huh. Wow.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Neither would I.
Nothing significant in the way of news this morning, but nice move higher here today.
A whole bunch of reasons Morgan Stanley is listing here as a reason adding to the top picks. First and foremost, cost-cutting measure success. They're effectively cost-cutting and restructuring efforts significantly improved its financial position, so they're happy about that. Strong or better than expected Q2 results, lowered break-even point as a result of all the cost cuts, but really it has to do with reduced China exposure. Their percentage of revenue from China is actually dropping, looking to diversify elsewhere, and diversification beyond autos. We've seen storage capacity, we've seen other as well, Optimus as well, so they're looking really to diversify beyond cars.
Yeah, we heard a little bit more on the robots last week from Elon. Shout out to our friends at Benzinga. If you want 50% off as well, Benzinga Pro also down in the description. This is just one of those, if you invested $1,000 at 17 bucks, I just read, this thing came to market at, what it would be worth today. I still haven't seen the number, but I'll grab it.
Not bad. I mean, there's a lot of names like that. You think about Tesla, NVIDIA. I mean, Apple, Alphabet, like a lot of these names, you had those opportunities. But as a day trade today, we said there'd be a lot of charts that look pretty much exactly like this, where you put in the same resistance on Thursday and Friday, and all of a sudden you're breaking out the top. That's why that ARM set, that's the only reason ARM set out for me. It's a little bit different. Like so many other things that are key are potentially breaking tops, like Microsoft 430, Tesla 226, NVIDIA as well. So I think you just kind of keep it simple. Like there's like, I call these like over-under levels. Well, if we're breaking out over, you want longs. If we're failing under, like on Friday would be the example of it. If at the open you fail under and consolidate under, look for early short. But if that doesn't happen, I think these are all pretty clean breakout levels. The other thing going for Tesla, obviously, whoops, let's zoom out too far, is you've bounced off, you have the 50 and the 200 pretty much lined up, and on the pullback, we're trying to bounce off that, which was also prior resistance here at about 205. So you made the bounce, didn't get there, bounced off 210, and now you're consolidating back in here to the upside. I think that gets a little bit simple in terms of higher lows into a flat top. If the stock is bouncing off support, then you get that next break. I don't know that it fills in the entire gap. I think that's unlikely. If it does this week, I'd probably think above 250 is a short, but you cross that bridge when you get there. There was a note on Rivian this morning that I thought maybe it would do a little bit more juice. I'm going to put this on the back burner. It was like the EU saying it was like the Volkswagen partnership was okay. I guess maybe they would have opposed it, but not really doing anything on Rivian. It's up 1%. But this name, if it gets to 17, like 1680 to 17, just on the off chance we get up there, this was a missed opportunity on Friday for a short chance. Right in the middle of the day. It was like right at noon, it just popped into this little double top here on Rivian, and you see a pretty defined range with the stock. So if Tesla goes running and the market goes running, I don't want to forget about Rivian up here just underneath 17. It's like a 1690. We'll put that one on the back burner. But yeah, Tesla looking like it's going to break out that 226 this morning.
All right, I'm just messaging a big player on our chat. It's Mr. Chef Joe, who gets the delivery of his Cybertruck later this week. So congratulations to Chef Joe for that one. I know he's been a big trader of this. And whether or not you've just started trading Tesla over the last year or 2 or 3 or the last 21 years, I'm not sure there's a stock that's printed more millionaires than Tesla. So congratulations to everybody who's basically made more money on Tesla than they could have ever even imagined. And again, thank you to Elon Musk for all that as well on this anniversary. So yeah, I didn't know that either. But yeah, like I mean, the amount of millionaires minted from this stock, just believing in the technology and believing in founders and things like that. What a great opportunity Tesla's been for many of us. So, okay, as we go, look, 1.54%, it's going to be today's #1 trade idea. But the thing is, I'm not sure about dip buys because, I mean, anybody can see this level here, 219, 220. So I feel like that's going to be a level that everybody looks at. So I'll look at it as well. If it drops down into here, we got to buy Tesla, I think. But we'll judge it. Maybe a story comes out which gets it down here. I don't see why it falls. So if I don't see why it falls, then we have another trade that we have to take, and we always take the pre-market breaks. Not always, but on a name that we like, we should do that. So that's 224.25. So I do like that play to go long through Tesla. The play that I wrote down, though, today on the note was a break right here of this, whatever this level is. This is 228. 227.50, I mean, we got to get up there first, right? So, like, I don't know if it gets to that level, but if it does, this is a huge break for me to go long. You know, you're going to fill this gap, and that's the start of it. So the minute that happens, I think it absolutely rips. You probably get to 234, 232 on this kind of a break right here. So whatever this, again, I wrote down 228 off e-signal charts, so maybe there was some pre-market wicks up there. But yeah, 227.50, 227, something like that. That would be a great break. And then, like I said, you know, if you have to be looking here. I wasn't here all Friday, but I mean, come on. If we were here, that would have been a bang here, long. Then we would have gone long right there. Then we would have gone long right here, right? Then we would have gone long right here. So anyways, you know what I'm saying. It's not like they're huge wins, but they're definitely dollar clubs. I'm sure these trades were probably looked at on Friday, but at the top it was 20.50. So you had like $1.50 worth of a range, pretty tight into the close. If we get a pullback, then we'll be here for Tesla. So let's get ready to rock and roll. Thank you everybody for watching. Tesla's your #1 trade idea, and you can go find it right here on my account, which I have Elon Musk here. Wow, Google's has a search ban on President Donald Trump. Yeah, I thought we already knew that, so thank you for that one, Elon. And then there it is right here, Tesla. I realized I had to give my camera a little bit of a wipe there, a little foggy there. 228 breakout, but we will try to also play that pre-market break as well. So yeah, 224.50 for Tesla. Giddy up, Chef Joe.
Just hit 70K.
Boom.
Cost.
Like you as a user.
We're just talking about Waymo. That's very expensive.
Yes, it is.
$10 a mile in a Waymo? That seems like a lot.
$9.99, Brendo.
$9.99. 2.7% here, meanwhile, for, let's talk about crypto. 70,000 coming into play here potentially this morning for BTC. Once again, nice gap. 2 days in a row here to the upside. We're back to $40 almost for IBIT. You were just making an interesting point on some of these ETFs when it comes to the structure of them and how we're seeing the money move from one potentially to others and back and forth. But net inflows again last week.
Net inflow certainly for the BTC ETFs. I was telling Brendo off camera specifically about the outflows of GBTC from Grayscale going into a previously also exclusively crypto ETF, the Bitwise ETF. They're seeing net inflows while GBTC is seeing net outflows. So here's how it worked last week. BTC spot ETF saw about 535 million come in. BlackRock absolutely dominated most of that with the largest share of the net inflows. Obviously, separately, the Nashville conference over the weekend and Donald Trump making certain statements.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on not only Bitcoin, if we can get back up to or near these highs once again, but decent volume behind these moves this morning for the ETFs once again.
Yes, sir. And it was a brief moment that 70,000 did get taken. Trust me, it did. Just by a few ticks there. Now you're back to like 69.8. So there's still a chance that you could break that out. And we did mention maybe you don't want to go to an hourly. Let's pop to the daily. Yes, the daily is sort of easier to see. You have these like lower highs on the daily, trying to break out the top. If it gets through, it's more like 7,600, or maybe like the 3/4 mark, where you'd be breaking out of that little bit of a downward sloping highs on the chart for Bitcoin. That said, hey man, there's plenty to trade. Mara is going to report this week on Thursday, I want to say, along with Coinbase. Let me just double check. I want to make sure we get that right. August 1st. So they're going to be on Thursday. Some resistance to support to resistance to breakout. So like Mara 23 is going to line up again because it was a great resistance trade until it was broken out just recently. And now you want to try to take this again. You're at 22.5. So if we keep trending to the upside, you're at that, being at the $0.50, it does give you some other opportunities here. Like if we don't actually get there right away, you have Friday's high, which is at $22 right at the open. You could just dip into prior resistance at 22, and that would be another play. Then you have 21.5 is where we close. So I kind of like every $0.50 to look for a dip buy, but 23 has been the spot for a while here on Mara. Not to say that if it breaks 23, we're going to 24, but that was a pretty key close price there at 24 before it fell down into the 20 level. So Mara is going to be on my radar today. If you break that 70,000 top and hold it, you're going to want to have, unless you're trading Bitcoin itself, you're going to want to have one of these equities alongside. That's why I like Mara. Ooh.
Look, man, I mean, we're going to be here with confidence on Mara here taking this 23 level. So we talked about it before. We missed it the last time. We hated ourselves for that. We didn't, but we missed that. And I didn't even think last time. I was like, oh, how far is this going to go up? We looked back and it was at $25. So you want to talk about a possible trade? I think Mara is that trade. We talked about it. It's now on the sticky note tweet that we put out as well. I also like, I was more kind of just, this is not like drawing at straws here, but this is definitely not as clean. Like there's nothing as clean as the Mara trade here. And I think we want to do things as simple as possible. But that little spike that happened, I guess 3 or 4 days ago into last week, was 255.40, 255.50, this kind of a level. So if you take 255, the thing about Coinbase is the spread is 50 to 60 cents anyways. So, you're going to have to give it a little bit of room. Obviously, if you break through 255, I don't think I want to put a market order in to grab that, but maybe just cross up 30 cents or something, cross the spread by half, and then see if we can go. But 255 break there on Coinbase is definitely something to look at for me. So I like the Coinbase. I like Mara. We have crypto rate down here, man. We talked about getting filled on some of our portfolio there for coins. So let me just go down here and have a quick little look for you guys. It's 9:12. We have tons and tons of time. All right, so let me refresh this because it says Bitcoin's at 63,000. So there it is, 69,000. We sold some Solana last night at 190. We just unstaked that. We're happy that 6% up for the week on that one. I saw Cardano was dancing around again, so not very good. 42 cents. It got up to 43 or 44. XRP, a big one. Ripple, there's a lot of traders in that, 61. So as we continue to go, it seems like it's Bitcoin right now well outpacing Ethereum. Ethereum for the week down 4%, while BTC now just recently catching that new bid up 3%. So we'll see if Ethereum as a lagger catches up here. I would say this to me is the trade rather than this. So I would think that like I said, I think you can still go long Bitcoin for sure. But if you're going to go long Bitcoin, you might as well go long Ethereum as well. I think Ethereum, you can get a little bit better of a return there just because it's been hit over the last week. And again, that's to sell the news, right? We did have the Ethereums come through. So, all right, it's big cap tech.
Yeah, a lot to digest for tech this week coming up. A lot of these going to report earnings today. It's notable, though, 0.5% here downside for Apple this morning. We're back to the bottom end of the range. They said they're going to delay, or there was rumors floating around this morning anyways, they're going to delay the expected fall launch of Apple Intelligence, remember, that we heard about earlier this year. No date given yet, but that seems to be one of the reasons anyways we're downside here so far for Apple. Yeah,
that's the look right now. They did get a price target upgrade, but this news headline overweighing that. So here's a look. iOS 18.1 and iPad iOS 18.1. These are going to be expected now in October as opposed to September. However, developers still getting access early, and that to me is the most important thing because you want to build up the apps for the launch. So keep an eye on that. Apparently, the report is suggesting that the delay is as a result of stability concerns, as well as additional development needed to perfect these. So we'll have to see exactly what it looks like in October.
And we are seeing the market following suit here, guys. Back to the downside for the NASDAQ now, just 0.6.
Yeah, so of the stocks that have that whole, hey, we're at the same highs from Friday and Thursday and we're breaking them out, Apple's kind of not doing that, like ARM. Gentle downward trend, lower highs. I wrote down like 221 on Apple, so maybe we get there, maybe we don't. I just feel like a little bit more bearish on this one, just given that, given the delay, the fact that it's weak relative to the market, it doesn't really have like a clean break level. You have multiple points of resistance in the last 2 days where you had decent sell-offs. Oh, just to keep in, just one other thing. So like 221's up here, but I'm going to keep an eye on all of those 130 levels from Friday. So if you remember on Friday, the market was sort of cruising along after that bounce, and then there was just that massive sell-off. And it was like an everything sell-off that just accelerated. If whatever you happened to be in ended up working, like if flukily in like an arm short at 150 because it was 150 and then the market just tanks. But Apple did the same thing at 219.5. I think that's the other place that I would look, like that 130 high on Apple and then 221. But I don't know if we get there. It's going to take a pretty big move up in the market in this catching some better wins. But I am bearish on the stock today. No, 230. No. 221. 221 and 219 half. I was like, wow. Are the two levels there on Apple. If we got to 230 today, we're all doing, well, I'm not doing any cartwheels because I wouldn't be physically capable of it, but we'd all do some cartwheels if we got to 230. Yeah. 221, 219 half. I'm looking short on Apple, just relatively weak compared to the rest of the market here.
I'm going to look at NVDA. So again, like we said, I think the number one stock, probably TQs. We've talked about that. Number two, I would say, is pretty clearly going to be NVIDIA. So I like the stock again, and I just think this 111 area, which we'll probably get to, we're going to test that bid. We'll wait. I mean, it could be 112. Could be a spot there too. I just think that with earnings this week, you're going to be hearing a lot of this name out of a lot of these mouths of Microsoft, of Apple, of everybody that's coming, Amazon. All these guys are going to be talking a heck of a lot about chips and deployment of capital. I like NVIDIA, so I think that there's a fireside chatter, whatever, tonight with Zuckerberg and Jensen there. So I think it's funny you go one with the first name, one with the last name. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So I really like NVIDIA. I mean, I've gotten trouble sitting there catching falling knives, but you know what? For this one, I mean, this is a knife well worth being cut up for. Yeah, we're gonna go. We'll put a small amount of shares. We'll probably put like a quarter. I shouldn't say small amount of shares because we always say this here on the show. We all trade with completely different share sizes. So I'm going to say quarter of my position. And again, I've gotten some feedback on that, and I really appreciate all of that as well, guys. So I'm going to use about a quarter of my position down here at about 111 or so. We'll start the bidding, and that way, if it runs me over, then I can lose a couple dollars or whatever on it, and it wouldn't matter. Obviously, we won't let that happen. But the market is really pulling back. I mean, you want to talk about a complete, 180, 360. I mean, it's not really 360 yet, but, we were looking at a lot of longs when we had started to think about this. That was about an hour ago. And now, in the last hour, I mean, we've just given pretty much half back what we were up, 19,360 all the way down to 19,280. Right now, that's 80 handles without a green move, really. You had one try and then another try, everything getting faded. So, not great here as some of these names start to pull back in. So feel like we will get some dip buy opportunities and maybe even in the next name. I
was just looking at this NAMS, NAMS, a couple people were mentioning. There was a positive data on one of their studies, little pharmaceutical name, NAMS, flying around here right now. It's a $20 stock, so just a heads up on that. Yeah, let's talk about Palantir. New contract for them this morning. Was looking strong when I initially sat down this morning. We're kind of fading off here, but still holding on to 1.14% of a move here for Palantir.
Yeah, so they're collaborating with this company called Tree Energy Solutions, TES. Essentially what they work on is electric natural gas productions. Didn't even know that existed until I read this article. So the collaboration aims to leverage Palantir's AI system for the production of electric natural gas. I like it simply from the fact that it's not a government contract, it's commercial, which we know they're trying to expand into. About 30% of the revenue coming now from commercial.
Yeah, 3 days in a row here now, back upside, guys, after that big down day for PLTR.
Yeah. Again, one of the I think one of the better names you can get still on, good levels. I mean, some of these names, we're talking about major cap tech names, most of them are below the 50-period moving average or at least close to it. This really isn't. You're still about 15% higher than its 50-period moving average. Look what happens when it gets beat up. Right, as Brendan said, beat up. Thank you very much. Boom, boom, like that. This is, I feel like, 6 or 7 straight EBITDA profitable quarters will be added to the S&P 500 at some point. So I really like Palantir. That continues to work. So for me today, it's quite simple trading. Yeah, look. 27 right off the bat. If we're able to do that and it holds, great. I think we can get out of the way. I mean, the market's just starting to go to the downside. Palantir's well outpacing the market here, so I'm fine with going long, but I want to give it some room because we've seen Palantir off the open, and I guess it didn't really do too much on Friday when it went up and then back down, but there's been days that it's really, really aggressive, and then it can get going. So this just is Thursday. The last time I was here, nice dip down. It dipped down about 60 or 70 cents before it got going, right? I mean, I think that could be possible here. Dipping down 50, 60 cents, even more is a possibility. So I wrote down $26 as a possible area. And again, that's just looking at the 20-minute chart. Just thinking that if we came into here, 27, we would try it. If it broke 27, then you're down into here, 26, 26.50. That very far level is 26. I like, and I think this is more likely to hit, this 200-period break or so right here of $28 long. So was looking a lot better about a half hour ago when we or maybe more than that when we first thought about it. But there's 27.70. That's the pre-market high. If we take that, then we have VWAP protecting us. I think a 28 break with a 50-cent stop here where VWAP is or whatever it is at that time, I think that's well worth it. So I'm here for Palantir today. 28 break. We'll try that. Or we'll try a dip buy into 26. I mean, I think it's pretty simple stuff here. Palantir outpacing the market. Good news, upgrades. Foundry working. They're finally getting into some new customer bases, as Sharif just mentioned right there. So yeah, governments plus private sector. Let's go. I like Palantir. And lots, in my opinion, tailwinds here.
Yeah, and we get them next week on their report. So I don't know what day, but anyways, we get them next week. Certainly going to be an interesting one. Hopefully it moves a little bit more than it did on Friday, but I think the good thing about that Friday sideways action is on that 130 move that everything in the market came to the downside, if it's a strong stock, where did it bounce off that move? Like a lot of things, when they sold off, we kind of hung around down there. Palantir kind of got to 27 and then caught a bid. So that move in the market arrested essentially at 27 even, but I like the entire chop band. If it just goes into that band, it's 27.25 into 27. So if it goes into that band where there was all kinds of accumulation on Friday, that's the spot I want to look to see it hold. If it doesn't hold that, maybe just play it by ear. I don't want to be fighting the stock. If it loses where the support was on Friday for the entirety of the afternoon, then I would want to get the you-know-what out of dodge of the longs. And then just try to find something else. We have some things we like short. We'll see what happens. Mostly chip names, really actually ARM and Apple there. So we'll see if we get those. But if we lose that 27 on Palantir today, I'm probably going to sit it out. I just love the support that it had all afternoon on Friday.
Just double checking. Longeveron still seeing 23-ish% short side for LGVN. We'll touch on that. Here's Pinterest real quick. Had to move briefly up to 38.50 there. Apparently, Pinterest teaming up with LinkedIn Teams for publishers to sell ads on Pinterest from LinkedIn, apparently. So just heads up on pins. There's Longeveron, though. If you zoom out, you got to go all the way back to the beginning of July. It had that crazy move up to 7 on a bit of a squeeze on some more positive data. And then we had another secondary day after that, same story. And then here we go again today. It's come back into $4, but trying to hold here for LGVN.
Yeah, we know this company is engaged in the alleviation or the cure of mild Alzheimer's. So here's a look today up, presenting positive 2A clinical trial data and a biomarker results at the Alzheimer's Association International Conference over the weekend, getting that nice bump up. We'll have to see if this one can continue, but it's been on our radar for a few weeks now.
Yeah, one of those ones that can get going if it wants to.
Yeah, it's kind of going, like the sideways action on Longeveron from the $4 level is pretty clear. When you pull up the daily chart, I think it's a little bit more obvious what needs to happen. It just keeps getting to $5, and either big break, rejection, or just the last couple of weeks, you can't seem to get past $5. So holding the breakout price would be key. That can actually get under $4 into like $3.50, where it would bounce off last week's resistance. But this needs to break $5. Longeveron breaks this 5, and then you can start to fly. So that's where my eyes are going to be. We don't have this on we didn't have it on the rundown, but Alibaba, big day overnight in Hong Kong. Big day for them, over 5% to the upside. Jefferies with a positive note for them on Friday. And it's trying to break back out over this 50-period moving average. Plus, you have, kind of like this steep trend line that it's attempting to break in here. Unfortunately, it's back underneath key resistance at 78.5, which does set it up to potentially break this back out at the open. Actually, when I check in, it's a little closer to 78.60. So if Baba's getting back above 78.60, I like it for a long. The problem is when you gap up on Chinese ADRs, if they don't make that breakout, often we'll fill in that gap before it's any good. So Baba hasn't been on the radar for a little bit, but if it can get back above 78.6 at the open, I do like that into the long side. Longeveron, I don't know that that'll be a trade for me. And I also wanted to point out ON Semiconductors. ON now almost double digits to the upside after reporting, 9% up. Anybody, and I'm sure everybody can see on a daily, if this thing were to break out the 79 level, looking pretty powerful. And then the 200-period moving average would be a dip into 74. If there is a 3M today, this is looking like it could be the 3M. So if it starts just holding VWAP into that 79, I think this could be a nice little trend trade to the upside. Only big earnings name, really. Well, only earnings name outside of McDonald's this morning. Not big.
Yeah, McDonald's is hovering around zeros, I saw.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just logging in to risk here. All right. All right, so here we go. Look, I mean, one short idea that we did have written down on here, now that the market starts to go down a little bit, I mean, I wanted to get to this, was going to be Disney. Again, I would think that this name has been pretty crushed ever since Nelson Peltz left, and we sort of lost that momentum there in the name. And then you had some strike talk and the theme parks and the overprice, and that a lot of consumers now are not, they're finding better choices. We've seen Lululemon get absolutely destroyed, like killed. Nike, Starbucks, some of these bigger names, some of the more expensive things right now. LVMH in life seem to go downside. And that is true of one of the most expensive things you could probably do, Disney? I mean, I don't know. But anyways, whether or not it's good value or not is up to you guys. But right there, $89. Looks like we might have found some sort of a base there. But after one day, you're right. The last word is right, Ramin. The right here, $89 right there at the bottom could be a play for sure for Disney. But I would rather fade the Deadpool. I just think that they had a great weekend, 200 million. I think it was over 400 million worldwide. It'll probably be $1 billion box, which is huge. If it gets there, I would just play that momentum to the short side. So what I wrote down was 92. So I feel like something in and around here would be a decent area to start with. And it's where the 200-period moving average is. It's been a pretty big decline. For me, I am fading Deadpool and Disney today. I bit with a sell, which is interesting, as we saw Bitcoin already starting to go and taking down and hovering around 70. Palantir's there with a buy. So those are some of the orders that we're looking at right here today. Palantir, bid I have going. I have Mara breakthrough, if that can happen as well, breaking through $23. And we have some dip buys in Tesla, NVDA, and a break in Tesla as well. But Tesla's going to break right now.
Already going.
It already broke, I believe.
Yeah,
so,
Microsoft broke too.
Yeah, there goes Tesla. So my order does not fire off, and we are already dead right, but wrong timing here for Tesla. So we'll cancel that one and go over to Sharif.
We're talking about island gaps today on the second week of gaps. Check that out with Adair and I on How to Trade at 11.
Island gaps, I like it. You better do some accents too on the midday, Sharif. Keep it real. Like get a pina colada. Do whatever you need to do. Rum punch out there.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. So look, 225 on Tesla already starting to go. Microsoft broke out to the upside. Maybe we'll get a pop and fade in Apple after all the way the market is starting to move. Not a lot by way of imbalances. There was a buy imbalance on Palantir. It's still there for a couple 100,000 shares. But let's get this Monday started. We don't have the big earnings yet, but we got plenty moving around here. Adara, ring it in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go.
All right, we're open and let you see what winds up happening right now. Welcome to the jungle, everybody. We're going to find out what this market wants to do exactly. Tesla is starting to go upside again, breaking through 225 and change. We will have to wait for a little bit of a pullback now. Maybe we get a pullback into 224, but it don't look like it. There it is. It is your trade idea number one, but you got to get it early, and that's a risky trade for sure. There goes Tesla up to 226. Try to play pullbacks into 224 for me now on Tesla.
Yeah, wow. Okay, Mara's starting to dip into the downside, so maybe we will get a shot to dip and rip at that 22. Palantir still holding inside of the range as well. It's really Tesla that's going. Microsoft 430 is gone right back into the downside. So Microsoft breaks 430, now right back underneath that resistance. Mara's just trying to go. Yeah, maybe Mara's going to break out this top. Okay, Mara looks like it wants to go here. A little bit of a dip and rip situation on MARA. Hasn't there? Now it's breaking the highs. So Mara getting through the top. ARM nowhere near 150. So that was another name that we were looking for a short opportunity, and it's just not there yet. So we got to wait for it. The market's coming down, and I'm like, I liked Apple short, and we're not going to get a pop and fade on Apple. I liked ARM at 150, and it's at 146. There's Apple breaking the low of the day. So we liked Apple, but like $2 higher from where it is. The market's starting to tank. I'm going to have a look-see to see if I like an entry in ARM at all here. Maybe off the 147, 148 it looks like would be that top. Might be able to get a little something. Market looking weak. It's outside of Tesla.
Yeah, exactly. Tesla trying to go. We still have that 228. We're going to try it anyways, even though it's really off. Like it's ripping. I mean, I'd rather have much lower, but we got to take what we're going to be getting, and we're going to wait. I'm trying to buy some 225s if we ever dip into there. I don't think that's going to happen, but we can put another bid down there just in case. I have 224.50, 225 flat, but it looks like we will have to take our 227 break long on this name right there. Palantir's not doing a whole heck of a lot. NVIDIA won. Okay, here it goes. So now we are into Tesla. Did that break? I guess it did. All right, we're long right now above, well, no, actually right at 220, right at 228. So let's go 228.50. Maybe we get something out if it does get back up there. But right now there's Tesla up to that big level and now just a slight little pullback. So we're in this name right now, TSLA. Let's see what winds up happening. VWAP is 226 or so.
Oh, wow. Baba did a huge dip and rip. So Baba wicked 78. It's back above that 78.6 level. Okay, this could be the one. Get back into VWAP, and we're going to be on the bid here of Mara. We wanted to be involved if it took out that 78.6 half. Mara starting to pull back into VWAP, so looks like we'll get an opportunity to get this Mara dip, as that came right back into $22.50. So I like this Alibaba. Not many things were, obviously Tesla went, but not many things gave us the opportunities we wanted. I'll try to pick up VWAP here as it keeps climbing higher and higher on Alibaba. But we are into MARA off that 22.5. Wow, Baba's really going. So Mara, just a VWAP dip buy as we're heading toward that $23 level. First thing for me, and Apple's starting to head up. So we'll be patient, look for that short off the top, but it's not there yet.
All right, guys, we're already, we're back. right here. And I don't know, but here is going to be potentially your first dollar trade. I mean, we're in one trade right now. It is your number one trade right here. Man, it's good to be back. There it is right there. It is Tesla. And boom goes the dynamite right there for that number one idea on the day. It is now your first 90-cent club. Ooh, can't get going right now. We'll wait to see if we can get up to that dollar. Let's take something out at 88. Why not? We'll give a little Eric Lindros love right back in on that one and see if we can get a little bit higher there on Tesla. One more time. We'll get some, let's get some 60s out right there. All right, now we'll get up to the 88s and we'll just see if it continues to fly. I mean, yeah, you do the work. You know, you're a trader, you come in here and you put on some trades. And I mean, and hopefully we're able to show you that we can get some winning trades on board right now. So there it is, right out. We just took some 60s there. We were waiting for 80s. It did go almost. Remember, we were like, oh, $1, oh, 90 cents. Right there. Let me take something else out right now. As Tesla is having a little bit of a problem. I'll probably look back and be like, oh man, what have I done? What have I done? But right now we'll wait to see here what does happen with Tesla and NVIDIA. Moving to the upside there, I do want to get into some Mara. I'm going to wait to put on a position through 23 when that happens. And then right now, NVIDIA trying to take out this top as well. 115 we just went up to right there on NVIDIA. Sure, we like to dip by opportunity, but this one also looks like it is potentially breaking. So yeah, man, on to the next, on to the next.
Yeah, on to the next. I thought that was going to be ARM 150, but still doesn't want to get there. Kind of biding my time with that stock, looking for the short. The market is trying to get back into the downside, but it's just not happening in terms of getting the level we want. So 23 doesn't break yet on Mara. It's bounced once off VWAP. It just got to 2290. I'm going to get out in front of 23, look for the dip buy on VWAP. And then if it breaks 23, I actually have a stop order already to break long on Mara. That's not an offer. That's like a bid if it breaks the 23 even level. All right, Apple. I mean, it's trying to get to the pre-market high here. If we don't break it this time, I guess I'll look for the fade off at 217.60. So they're not the pre-market high. It's like the 830 area high. So like the lower high here on Apple. We like this one short. We like ARM short. It's going nowhere near the area that we wanted to grab that short for Apple. So we'll just have to play it off of 217.5. Almost just put evens.
All right, Tesla's starting to fall in a little bit here. We've been getting it out. I'm still waiting for 226.50. I mean, I thought, oh, sorry, that's NVIDIA. Sorry about that. Hold on a second. Here it comes back in for Tesla. So we're still trying to see, 226.50. So I'm already on that bid. So hopefully but if it does fall in, we will be able to take that one out right there. So we just have one trade on, looking to do some more on something. Let's check out Palantir real quick. We want to say, oh yeah, Tesla, let's go. I mean, we're waiting for 80s. Well, oh my, and there it is. You know what, we're back. We're back. And like I said, man, I mean, I was watching the show on Friday, good trades on Friday, but there is our first dollar club right there for us on the day. It is your trade idea number one. We'll go 1 for 1 and we'll put that one on the board so far there. We're out of half of our trade there for Tesla. And there it goes again. And there it goes, Neil. Now it's $1.50 right now. You know, Kathy, I told you I'm employed already. It's a nice one right there. We'll do that. We'll do the max little Lambo action as we come through, as we bring some excitement to the stream. It is a Monday morning. Wake up, America, Canada, Paris. What's up, Paris? Thanks for hosting those Olympics. It's been good. Sad to see that it rained on the opening ceremonies, but that was still fun to watch. Here we go. Boom. We'll take $1 right there because but we got to find another one for you. And I promise, stick with me and we will.
Yes, sir. Love that Tesla trade. Let's see if it can get to that 230 level. We have our first short of the day. The market's coming back up. We thought it's ARM or Apple. Apple's at pre-market high. ARM is at 149. So give it one more dollar, and then I'm going to be into the short. Got to be patient with it. Look for Apple. It just took out that pre-market high, so we'll just be cautious with it here. We like 219, maybe a little bit better. Let's see this one get a little bit more calmed down. All right, ARM. Here it comes.
Really? Okay.
We're at 149 even. Big wick to the upside. It actually just rejected a 149 break, but the spread's 30 pennies on ARM. All right, let's let this one calm down. We like this one for 150 because it was lower highs the whole way here compared to some of the other chip names. So not quite there yet on ARM. Let me just double check NVIDIA. NVIDIA hasn't broken to 117 yet either, so we got to be patient waiting for that key level on ARM and NVIDIA back into said upside. Not there yet, but we are screaming into that resistance any second. Now, I'm going to be all over ARM first, and NVIDIA breaks out, AMD 143 is now gone, but I had no breakout order set for AMD. We'll have to pull back on a dip into VWAP for AMD. It looks like it's the first to go. I thought it might have been ARM or NVIDIA, but it looks like it's AMD. Adara?
Keep an eye on Planet Image International here. YIBO. This one is a small cap. We have a market cap of around $150 million. Floated for around 27.5 million shares. Not seeing any news on this one, but lots of social media attention. We're talking about multiple mentions on X within the last minute here. So YIBO on watch, up more than 100% right now, guys.
All right, with Mara tanking, let's put 2 on the board. Boom, boom, boom. Right there. Let's see what winds up happening. We're in Mara. We'll take this price down here at 222.28 as it falls back into the 200 period moving average. So we're not going to rest on this. I mean, I still think we can get higher. We will take a piece out here at 49, see if we can run 20 cents on this, right ahead of 50. So it's a good take so far there on MARA, and we'll go 2 for 2 with the ideas here trading today. So I don't know, man. Busy weekend, not busy weekend, trading, not trading, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever the day is, man. Stick with us here, and hopefully we'll be able to put on some good trades and some nice winners for you one more time. All right, come on, Mara, let's get going. All right, NVIDIA. We've already gotten out of now 2/3 of our Tesla. That just touched up there. We were getting some out up here. Look at this. Multiple outs here at 229. Our best out is 229.30 right there for Tesla. And we're just here to try to show you guys that, yeah, you can make money trading. So, you know, hopefully you're able to see that. All right, there's Mara. Let's go if we can get above 50. Come on, Mara. Let's get going now. Watching out for Bitcoin 69.4 or so. Maybe it can go. Palantir's trying, and back in comes Tesla right now. Oh man, we might just have to start taking some of this out so then I don't wind up doing something too stupid here and catching too many falling knives with Tesla. But there it goes, another 60 cents back upside there. Mara is having a problem down here right now. I'm going to stay in it. I have like I have like 10% of what I was going to take breaking through 230 or 23. So it's all good right here on Mara. But yeah, today's been another banger day. So let's just keep on going, guys. Take another piece out up here on Tesla, as there it is, man. 85-cent winner right there on Tesla, and still going higher. So, I mean, yeah, you know, we're here. We're having a good time. And let's see if we can keep that momentum going right now. And here we go. Let's go. Boom. There it is, Neil. We got a good one there on Mara. 20-cent little winner right there. Let's wait to see if we get that 23 going. But there it is, man. Deuces up today. 2 for 2. Dollar club with Tesla, and quite a decent trade here with Mara as well.
Yeah, Mara's still struggling at VWAP, though. So we'll see what happens with it. I'm into ARM, and Apple is starting to come into the upside. ARM did drop underneath VWAP pretty significant. Actually, no, sorry, just bounced off VWAP, not dropped underneath VWAP. Bounced off of VWAP, and now we're shorting it to the local high as it's starting to pull back, looking a little bit weak. I'll get to Rivian in a quick little second, and then AMD broke out without NVIDIA. So I like NVIDIA and AMD longs. I like ARM short today. So off of 143, I thought we'd see 117 on NVIDIA first. Instead, we're going to look for the dip buy off VWAP here in AMD at that 143. This one's breaking out in a big way. But if NVIDIA decides it wants to take out 117, I suppose that's in play. VWAP's down at 115 here on NVIDIA. Bullish on both of those while looking more bearish underneath 150 on ARM. So just be very, very careful with ARM. Both these names, NVIDIA and AMD, usually relatively strong. But ARM not really breaking those highs. Okay, it looks like NVIDIA is going to get to VWAP before AMD does. I'm on the bid, 143, but it's not filling on AMD. So we're going to pivot from there to see if we actually get a bounce on NVIDIA. If we break down, I probably add to an ARM short. If we start bouncing, looking NVIDIA longs right here at 115. Apple, $1 away from the 219.5. So we got to be patient waiting for that. ARM's back and forth, 10, 15 cents in or out of the money. But VWAP 115 looking like it's coming in here. Bit of a bounce already. Shy. We're going to nibble in on NVIDIA.
All right, we are nibbling out right now of these trades as we tweeted out right here. So now we only have a fifth left of Tesla. So, I mean, look at that printer that we just got, 229.70 or whatever that was. Right there, that's 229, 229.50. And I just wanted to say, like, we stick our neck out. Like, Tesla was down at 222 when I wrote down a 228 break. You know, so, I mean, even though it moves up $6 there, we're still able to put it on and make that big trade. So it just goes to show you, like, you know, you got to have some of that confidence there to be able to put on a trade, especially when it goes $4, $5, $6 straight to the upside, and you still put on and you still bank, right? So, I mean, that's a good one. We got out of a third of Mara right now as well. So I really loved, I mean, I added ARM. It's so silly. Oh no, this is running against right now. I added ARM up here. I like the 150 short. So, you know, we'll probably look at that if and when it gets up there. But, you know, what we're busy doing right now is doing some of this. And Adara's at the desk with some of that.
A couple of names to keep an eye on here, including McDonald's, MCD, this one at highs of days, almost at this 259 level as we have its conference call going on. Apparently, the $5 meal deal is doing very well. CFO saying that they're expecting to raise prices less this year. So MCD, I guess, seeing some positive trader reaction to that. Also worth noting here, GM on watch. This just circulating here, a Form 4 filing showing that its CFO, Paul Jacobson, has purchased just over $1 million worth of the company's shares, $1.1 million worth of GM shares here. Keep an eye on those names, guys.
1.1 million. Well, we'll keep an eye on GM, but probably not. So breaking through the high, NVIDIA right at 150 is going to be ARM. So we did grab some NVIDIA long. ARM is right on the line. It broke it on Friday in the afternoon by about 35 cents. So 150, it's like 36 or 37 up top there. If it breaks 40, we're going to have to jump out of it. NVIDIA, we might get a dip buy off VWAP one more time here, but here it goes. Just going to get that stop in. Want to make sure we have it in. NVIDIA, we might get another dip off VWAP. It just went 15s all the way into 160. I didn't get the evens. It only printed the $0.50. So ARM short, NVIDIA long, at least temporarily, and here comes Apple screaming into those highs.
Let's go.
I feel like that one's going to get there. We like Palantir for a long, but
yes, we do.
That just hasn't really come in to the dip level. Going to have to join somewhere else. It's just hanging out at VWAP while the market is screaming to the tops. I don't know if we have the level right for Palantir. It's kind of diddling in the middle. Might have to be on the back burner for this one. So ARM's at the kill point at that one. Actually, it's back down to 149.30, so it might be coming down a bit.
Yeah, let's go, guys. Bang, bang, bang. The Sticky Note Nation is in the building again. There's your 150 ARM trade. And guess what? It's about to be, and there it is, Neil. It is your second Dollar Club winner of the day. Tesla Dollar Club winner, ARM Dollar Club winner right now. And again, off that 150 level. You know, so there it goes. I mean, this is what trading's about, guys. Stick with your guns, stick with the trades, put them on when you see them. There goes ARM to the downside, and it is, again, that dollar winner. So, I mean, I don't like, again, you guys got to be very, very specific with how you're trading this. I saw Neil hopped out of Mara there. We took a little more, so we'll wait to see here on Mara. It still didn't do what we thought it would, and we shouldn't even really be in this because it didn't take out our levels, but we thought we'd get a little jiggy with it right here as we get excited again because down goes ARM. It just put the lower offer right there into 24, making our net look a little bit better. And there goes Tesla, still to the upside. Man, oh man, today is once again another good day. Shout out to my guy Brankles over there as well, as we're putting some damage on the board. Man, me and Brankles doing some things right now. ARM, nice move to the downside. Tesla, nice move. Tesla, oh no, Neil. We are now $1.50 in the money, Neil, as Tesla goes up, taking out, watch out for this 230. I know we like that level. And by the way, here it comes. There it goes right there. Ciao, Tesla. See you later. We'll be joining you in those Cybertrucks. My guy over there, Chef Joe, right now putting it on. And there it goes. $2 in the money for Tesla. Uno for ARM. Mara goes back to the upside. Neil, it'll be 3 for 3, my guy. And we are starting to put on right now for the viewers. I hope you guys are enjoying it. We're back in the building. If you don't like this excitement, flip O channel, because right now we're not going anywhere. I promise you that. And there it is, man. Boom goes the dynamite right there. It's a big one right now. Fire off the hot dog cannons, and now we can just chill out. What's up, Adam DeLuz?
Love the join on the ARM side. It was sick on Friday. It's sick again today. The market just wicked the high. Looks like we're trying to break out again. I'll get to NVIDIA in a quick second, but there was a fail off 219 on Apple. So quickly, my stop is not high of the day here. It didn't get to that Friday top. So it broke 219, failed at 219 quarter. I went short underneath the 19. I'm giving it to the 219 just above that level, and then we're going to be out. So ARM is heading back into the downside. That's going to mean NVIDIA probably retesting VWAP in here. So, obviously if the stock's working, you're not as concerned with that one as you are going to be about the one that's starting to come back in for reload. So VWAP here in NVIDIA is exactly at $115. If we're able to reload off 115, that's going to be the go spot for me. Palantir haven't really made the adjustment just yet. Don't like any levels. I feel like it's going to be the chip names off VWAP if we can get them as the market wicked the high and then starts to come back in. ARM 150, it's now chilling at $148. I think we want to be ensuring that VWAP doesn't bounce here. If we bounce off VWAP, we wait for the high again. Otherwise, let's look for that 146 down at the bottom. So quick little scalp trade on Apple. If it breaks out, then we got to get out of this trade. So it didn't quite get to Friday's high, but quick little scalp, 219 into 218 half on AAPL, and we'll go on to the next, which looks like an NVIDIA bounce off of VWAP, but it's not seeming like it wants to get all the way down here. Might just go off the 115 and a half again, but I'm being patient because the market just wicked the high.
All right, guys, so here it is right here. I mean, patience is so key as we're 250 in the money now on ARM. And like Neil mentioned, man, glad to have everybody try to join us here on ARM. So we put this note out an hour ago, fade ARM at 150. So it's like these are the trades that you want to wait for and put them on. Like this is trading, and hopefully you guys are able to see some of that. And it's just just trying to show you that we talk about it, right? That you got to play the percentages. This is a super tough game. It's like 3 or 4% maybe succeed at day trading, and we're just here to show you that. I mean, that's why I'm telling you 3 for 3 and showing you guys these trades. I mean, these are trades that, look at Mara. There it is. Whether or not you're trading a crypto name, a $20 name, whether or not you're trading a $200 name, $250 with Tesla right there, whether or not you're trading a little baby play like ARM right there. Again, have confidence in your plays. You make the play, you shoot your shot, and right there, ARM now a huge stock, P&L wise. Take your shot on the stock. Have faith in what you're doing and just simply put on. And that's what you have to do. And I'm hoping we're able to show you that is what we're doing here live on Trader TV. So all right, we'll have some fun here the rest of the day. Did we just get out some more Tesla there? Like what exactly is happening? Oh, more Mara just came out there at 40s. Wow. So there's one trade Mara. Our ARM kind of speaks for itself there. We talked about that. And not only that, every single one of these ideas is listed specifically here on the best free resource that we have, watchlist. It's a new thing. It's watchlist.beehives or something. We can get that up there. Grab the watch list and make sure you also check out the sticky note up. Link is also in description. Thank you for that. That's like what my kid would say. Dad, the link's in description. All right, what's up to Adara over there at the desk? Thank you, Ramin.
This part of the show is brought to you by Benzinga Pro. Tired of being late to the trade? Always playing catch up in the market? Missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else, pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving, and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial.
We like free, definitely. Shout out to you, Adara. Haven't heard anything just yet news-wise, but you don't need anything for news in the first half an hour of the day. NVIDIA is attempting to bounce off VWAP as we speak. So there's 115. Kind of dipped underneath to like 85 or 83 cents, something like that. Picked it back up on the way up. Going to look for this 116 to hold. The problem with NVIDIA up top is same resistance 3 days in a row. Just underneath the 117, 116.60, 116.30, now again here at the 116 level. So just going to have to respect, not the weakness, but obviously there's sellers there. It is what it is. And if sellers come into 116 again, we jump out, look for a breakout off the top on NVDA, and then just play the trend. And that's what we've seen. Can't seem to get to VWAP on Apple, although we did dip under 219, bounce off 218. So Apple's starting to pick up a bit. It was weak earlier. Now it's not getting into VWAP. That's a bit of a strong sign on that market pullback when we dipped underneath that previous high on the NASDAQ. You saw Apple put in a higher low, looking pretty relatively strong. From weak to somewhat strong, Apple is looking. So I want to make sure we take some profit on this. The first short to the pre-market high or resistance didn't work. Then we got the 219 fail. We want to make sure we're ringing the register on that one and moving on to the next. ARM, I liked 146 as a target zone for ARM. I don't know if we're going to get all the way down there if the market runs the highs. And as far as looking for a re-entry, if we don't get a 150, this could be like a VWAP short. But I'm not there just yet. Not with the market trying to press through the top. I think with the market trying to press, you want to wait for the right level, which is that 150 level on ARM. It was the same thing on Friday when we had that market drop at 130, right at 150. And careful on that small cap. I know a lot of people are looking at YIBO or YIBO, whatever you guys want to call it. That had one halt, and now it's threatening to lose the halt price. If it breaks $6, this one could get a little bit nasty. What goes up can also come down rapidly.
All right, we're just going to exit out right now. We'll just, we'll say awesome, but not huge. I mean, it'd be another winning stock. With Bitcoin looking like it may want to break the 69 right now, back down to the downside here off of 70. So I'll just get out of Mara. We've already took this profit. It's going to be a profitable name. I just took an offer there at 25s off of a long at 20s, like there was nothing. Our best outs here were 38s and 40s here off of the 200 period moving average, and it looks like maybe we should have exactly held that again. I'm sitting on the bid here of ARM. It just missed us again. We were right down here at 147.20. ARM's a great trade so far today, but we only have 3 trades on, so we will continue to look elsewhere, see if we can find some more value somewhere else here to trade. But again, I'm trying to stay very, very specific with what we're doing because it's working here. So we're going to stick with it. So Disney right now, we did like the short up there near 92, so I think we might as well wait for that. It is positive stock today, up 1.25%, as we did have some nice flow through there on Deadpool 2, making over 400 million globally, 200 million domestically, so that's good. I think that they'll probably like that. So it's a nice move up there for Disney today. I still wanted to fade 92, but again, got to get there. I don't know what that wick's all about. I don't think that actually happened, but $92
I'm gonna guess.
Coming through there. Yeah, well, definitely not since open. So if it was in the pre-market, then obviously we do not care too much about that one. We wanted to also look at Coinbase, that 255 level. I mean, how key was that 255? I was like, I don't know too much about this 255 level if I like it or not. And then boom, it is pretty much to the penny, the high of the day there. But we were looking long, so we're not going to be like, oh my God, that was such a good one there. Mara has come back up. So that kind of sucks that we lost faith there in you, crypto. My bad on that one. We'll try to do better next time for you. But right now, come on. We need ARM to get down. Just one more push to the downside for ARM, and we'll put $3 in our pocket. So far, so good here. ARM, Mara, and Tesla. It's those 3 stocks, and it's a big day. So just 3 names, just 3 trades, real simple, real clean, and not much else, right? The ARM 150, like we said, glad that Neil mentioned it because we threw it right there on the sticky note and was like, oh, hell yeah, we like ARM. We like the relative weakness today. That's perfect. We're looking for some short ideas. So we put ARM in our pipe and smoke it. And then the last one here, we only have like 5% left of Tesla. So we just took a last piece out right here at $229.60 or whatever for, again, a sticky note, $2 winner. So far, so good here. And we're at the highest spot we've been at all day and looking for another little push down in ARM and maybe some NVIDIA. I don't know what else you guys want me to look at. I won't be looking at any of those little stocks. But Nike, maybe we can look at. I do like that Disney. Let's see if Tesla can get through 230 and maybe we can grab some more.
Yeah, Nike. I'll get to Nike because we had a theory about Nike, Obi and I forgot to check back in on it this morning, but I think it's more of a middle of the Olympics kind of thing. If it isn't breaking out on Olympics hype, I think it's going to be a heck of a short if it breaks that local bottom. I think it's $71. NVIDIA just tapped 115 and then just ran again. We missed that little bit of a dip buy, was looking for the reload actually on Apple and did not get this wick. I'm going to let this get back to the 219. There was a seller there a minute ago. If there's no seller, jump out when it breaks, if it breaks. If the selling still right there, try to jump back into the short, maybe get some VWAP action there on Apple. So Apple, NVIDIA 115, ARM is still sitting at VWAP 148, not much doing on that one. So those are the three things that I like. With the market breaking those highs, you got to be careful reloading something at the high of the day for the short side of the trade. Bit of a slippery slope there as you're obviously trending to the upside on Apple. We'll take the profit at 218 if we can get it, but eyeballs on this 219 level, see if selling will come right back into it. Just want to be on the back end of the trade. Allow it to go up, wick the top, and then add to the short, as opposed to just sitting on the offer and getting run over. Let's go over to the desk. It's 10 o'clock already. What's happening now?
Both the S&P 500 and NASDAQ here positive to kick off what's sure to be a pretty exciting week. We have earnings from 4 of the Mag 7 companies. We have the FOMC meeting on Wednesday. We also have some jobs data on watch. JOLTS job openings tomorrow on Tuesday, and then on Friday, we'll get the non-farm payrolls data. So sure to be a very exciting week, especially in those earnings and economic data related spaces. In terms of earnings, we have McDonald's here to the upside, up almost 3%. Their earnings themselves actually were a miss across the board for earnings per share and sales, though the call, we did have the CEO emphasizing on the call that their $5 meal deals did better than expected. So interesting potential lack of cost raising also hinted here during this call, MCD here. We also have ON Semiconductors, another earnings name, this one all near high of days here. ON beating across the board for earnings per share and sales, and guiding Q3 revenue and earnings per share largely above estimates. Last but not least, we have Alibaba, Chinese ADR on watch here. This one up 3%. During the U.S. session on Friday, circulating this note here from traders, Jefferies maintaining a $116 price target and buy rating due to some service fee increases. This actually also impacted the stock during its Hong Kong session, trading extremely well. So BABA looking to run again here, guys.
Righty. Yeah, both BABA and Palantir having oddly inside kind of days. We thought they'd move a little bit more than they are. But that's okay. Like, if it's not moving the way you want, you just move on to something else or look for something else or a better opportunity. All right, Apple not showing the same signs of weakness at that 219 level just yet. NVIDIA is pressing toward the high. The NASDAQ just took out the high of the day. Yeah. I feel like we're going to get a top-end break. Remember, NVIDIA 117 is still going to be in play for a breakout. But eyes are on the Apple because that's the thing that we have. Short, well, I mean, ARM's not at the high. If you're short something, you care about it if it's pressing resistance. All right, here we go. 219 just wicked the top, got to 219.10, and then came back in, so added at 92. If it breaks 10, we jump out, looking for a VWAP retracement here on Apple. We get to the $0.50, going to make sure we take some profit. Market wants to go higher, then that's what we're going to do. NVIDIA bouncing off the 115 again. Unless it breaks the high, it's VWAP 115 to 116 is going to be the play. Overhead resistance is still chilling out here on NVIDIA at that 117 level. So we'll rinse and repeat as many times as we can into a potential break of the highs.
All right, guys. Other than, our number one trade here today was Tesla going long at 228. Is now $4 now in the money. So it's one for Neil, one for Adara, and two for me. Right there, nice little trade there, and one for Patrick, of course. In the background there is Tesla right now taking out 232. So yeah, that's going to be a good trade, it looks like. So far the trades that we've put on for you right now today, we've got NVIDIA 30-40 cents now in the money on that name. Let's see if that one will continue to work. Of course, we're talking about NVIDIA looking to get longer on that. We have ARM that we put on for you as well. That was at $1.250 in the money. We're going to wait for another one. We're out of half only out of half of ARM. Okay, and then Mara, which I feel like we did good on. Well, I know we did good, I can see, but it's just, I wish we could have done a little bit more on this name, but it didn't go for us. We were waiting for a 23 break, so that didn't happen. We played the dip, and we got it again for you right now here today. So again, hopefully you're really enjoying the show. Make sure you do hit that like. And see, there it goes, Mara, right? So again, to the downside, we were able to get out of it. So, take advantage of that. We noticed that it was weak. We talked about Bitcoin not holding 69, looking to hold 69. Now we get the breakthrough. So there it is, man. Have sort of that. It's not the ability, it's just make sure you're looking at stock when you're trading. And I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous, but if it's not moving the way you think it should, look to see why. Why am I long Mara? Because I thought we had a nice little crypto break through 70 today. That completely rejected. So when that happens, are we still up on Mara? Yes, because we were able to have that ability and pivot. This is what traders do, pivot. You can't just sit there in the same trade and let it bleed against you and have this. Have some ideas that wind up working. If we were to get out of our trades right now, obviously we'd be at our highest spot. I mean, look at Tesla. Market coming in, Tesla going higher. Trade the right names. Okay, we are reloaded a little bit here on NVIDIA. Not sure if this is the right name or not at this level, but I know we like it down there at 115. So let's see if NVIDIA can put us back into the winning circle one more time here as, let's see, okay, we'll take a 65. We'll take 15 cents right there on NVIDIA. And now let's see if we can even get higher on this name and put this one back on the board again. Wow, what a good opportunity one more time to sit down here and trade today. Every single day, the bangers are here, man. The market does not rest. Like, you just got to find the right names and you can make the money. So there it goes. So far, so good, man. ARM, Mara, NVIDIA, and Tesla. Neil, we'll go 4 for 4.
Yeah, it'll be 3 for 4 over here, but we'll see what happens with Apple. Apple catching a bid at this $0.50. It's now holding a trend. I'll draw a trend line in a quick little second, but it's holding highs here on Apple. Like 219, higher lows, I should say, into the same flat top at 219 even. I think it's a potential breakout on Apple. That's just my read. There was the same buying that I saw at the quarters. I'm seeing on the $0.50 level on AAPL. NVIDIA in that 115 looking pretty good. The only caution for me on NVIDIA would be like, you know what? No, it's actually not that bad. Because actually you're finding bids now above the 115.5, a little bit better than you were before. And I wanted to get to AMD. The only chip name that I planned on looking at today that we haven't.
There it is. AMD
is now failing VWAP. So AMD, NVIDIA, one holding VWAP, one not holding VWAP. You guys can see the difference. I'm not going to look immediately short, but if we continue to fail underneath this top on the NASDAQ, I think AMD is going to end up on the other side of the list because 143 was that breakout level. It was this resistance from last week, and now you're breaking back under it. So I'm adding this to the list of names I'd look for VWAP shorts with this market just sort of diddling around here. ARM threatened the 150. I think it has a chance if we break down 146. ARM has a huge gap fill. Yes. Remember, just the only thing in the back of my mind is if we break 146, the utter nonsense that happened on Thursday between 142 and 144. There was a whale buyer at that price. So if it gets to 144 and someone steps up on a bid big, I'm just going to trust it could be the same person. It was a massive reversal on ARM. Kind of had never seen anything like that, at least in terms of the size that someone was throwing around on that bid. So ARM working, but if we break 146, I have a target down at 144. That would be the best we'd take.
All right, guys. Yeah, look, ARM right now, I mean, wow. Neil just mentioned it. It's now $3 in the money. We have two. So we have a $3 winner on board right now and a $4 winner on board right now, and NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, we've already taken some profit, but it is falling in right now with this market. So we may have to sort of change some of our thinking here as we come back in nicely. That low right here on NVIDIA. So it looks like, hey, look, man, there is some, aspect of us being human at some point here as NVIDIA falls back in right now and trying to go lower. So, yeah, we will, looks like, maybe go 3 for 4. But I'm not giving up on NVIDIA. I actually meant to buy some there. We'll have to punch in a little bit to 99s there, 98s. Let's see if we can get this dip by. I want to hold it to about 114.50 right now. If we're going to be wrong on it, let's be wrong. We don't have... well, again, I shouldn't say that. We have about a third or so, again, of the shares that we are willing to take right now on this, but I'm just going to put a stop at 114.49. If we break lower than that, then let's get out of here. I might have just jinxed it by saying we had a loser on board. We're out of the money here by 20 cents right now on NVIDIA. So if this can climb back up, then I apologize. We will not have a loser on board. But guess what? Right now, there it goes, man. It is your sticky note trade too. ARM right there at 150. I'm glad Neil has this. That's nice. We have NVIDIA. We've got ARM. We've got Tesla right now. And man, oh man, today is just another one of those good days as we continue to sort of stack up. We said how tough of a month July's been. We seem to be having our best month this month. We've changed how we're trading. And again, I don't know if it's, I'll have to look. It might be my best month of the year, but could maybe not. But it's definitely the best month recently. So we're really happy with that, and it's glad to have some volatility back here on earnings. And there goes ARM. We still have a couple tranches left before we get out. But you know what else goes up must come down. But right now, Tesla is not even pulling back. It's again your sticky note trade of the day. Now, Patrick and Neil, $5 now in the money on that Tesla trade.
226, 228. Was 228 or 226? 28, right?
228, yeah.
It's 228.
Great. Like I thought it was going to get to there, but you know. And then when we put it, Neil, the thing about this is, I know you do a little recap as well. You have your notes. Look what we wrote down on this one, and it was pretty simple. Sometimes we just got to hold it a little bit more. Look, Tesla will be infinitely P&L number one, right? We talked about that. Breakout here and a look for more to upgrade, and if we break it early, then it can really fly. So no lie, and you know this, Tesla traders today, be ballin'. Great move up, 6% right there. We talked about it flying upside. There it is. It's going to be your number one NASDAQ name, probably percentage-wise, and the number one trade for me.
Well, if ON's on the NASDAQ.
If ON, on semi.
Okay, there goes.
Here we go. Come on, NVIDIA. Let's get going.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll get to ON in a second, but NVIDIA just lost the support that I was out in front of. 114.80. I had 93s. We just lost that support level. Here, I'm going to quickly pivot to ON because it's holding VWAP really, really well on the way up. They reported now 12% to the upside. 79 is a monster level here on 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 the daily chart. So if it can hold above, maybe break out the top, that is a huge level here on ON. Maybe the strong name as the market's really starting to bleed back into the downside. So I don't want to be fighting it. We only had two things that we liked short. It was Apple, it was AMD. Apple's flat on the session, now pulling back into VWAP. Sorry, it was ARM and Apple. AMD we're going to add to the list. I'm not even sure if we can get it at this point. So Apple at VWAP. If it breaks down, I'll look shorts underneath. And then AMD, like 2 minutes ago, we're like, yeah, AMD losing 143 is a short back into VWAP. If you can get it, we're not going to grab that trade. So ARM, about $3 in the money. I think we can get down to 144. 144 is that monster level. As I said, NVIDIA just not willing to fight it down here. Like we had a couple of dip buy opportunities, but it's fallen underneath resistance right here at 116.5, 117. So unless you're getting back above VWAP, I'd rather be long something a little bit stronger than NVIDIA, unless we're back above that VWAP. Palantir is kind of a nothing burger. And this is, I wish we had identified this on Friday, the way that 3M went. But if ARM is the strong stock, or ON is the strong stock, then this is the one we want to be on with the market starting to come down like this. So you see a little bit of market weakness, wasn't willing to pivot away from the shorts that were working into something that was a good long. I think today, as long as I see this pattern on ON, dip into VWAP, as long as it holds, that's about 77, 75 or so. If it can bounce off this one more time, I think join this trend. I'm not really seeing anything else that looks strong. As we said, NVIDIA, I got out of NVIDIA just now, thankfully, because NVIDIA now 114.5, as that's continuing to bleed into the downside. So we're going to hang on to ARM to 144. The only reason I like 144 is I sort of went over this. If you break yesterday's high or Friday's low, it was just a lot of buying and a big support level at the 144 even. So we get down to there, I'm going to be taking it out. Ooh, Randy with the reload.
Yes, thank you, Randy.
Yeah, we're going to need that coffee. Stat. Thank you very much, sir. I don't know. It's just a thing people say.
Randy,
I don't even know what that stands for. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. They just say it on TV.
Do doctors know what that stands for?
They
all right.
better know.
Do they? I don't know where the origin of that is from, actually. To be honest with you.
They say it on ER, that's all.
They say it on the air. Yeah, Tesla, Randy, the number one trade. We got the sticky note trade right there of the day. And we wrote down Tesla breaking 228. But we actually wrote that down when it was at 222. So we talk about having confidence, being able to read the charts, so on and so forth. So that's, I mean, for me, that was a good one. We're still holding a little piece. We didn't get out at the very top. But we do come back and have to say that, hey, man, sometimes this happens. And we will put on a L. There it is, NVIDIA. We reloaded it. It came back up. We got some out there at VWAP, but now it loses it with the market. We are losing it. Oh, no, Neil. We are now $5 in the...
That's a brisket trade.
Yeah. That might be what that is.
Funny how there's only brisket trades when we don't eat brisket.
Yep, there it is. Is it? Yeah. Well, there's only a couple brisket trades, that we put on. This is a brisket trade. Right here. Neil's got this one on. We've got this one on. And here comes another one with Tesla. So we'll have a look at that, Randy, and look at some brisket possibilities here today. Again, 145.50. Again, like if I just kind of follow what we're doing on here, NVIDIA, I liked it. It got pushed back to VWAP, so I don't have any problem with that. It wasn't going to get to 111. Well, it might, but I don't think it will. 115, I don't think it will. Right there, we'll look at Palantir 26 or 28. I think that was just in the middle right there. Coinbase, breakout through 70. Obviously, that didn't happen on Coinbase, 255. Disney, we'll have a look at that. The Tesla's the big one. And then right there, man, hopefully adding Mara on the break of 23. We still win on Mara. It's still a great trade, but at the end of the day, crypto does not continue to break higher. It actually completely retraces now pretty hard in going down to the downside. And then there, of course, is, obviously now ARM will be P&L number 2. ARM overtakes Mara easily, by the way. Is it Mara or Mara?
It's Mara.
Mara.
Rooney, Mara.
Is it? Okay.
Because
what's the track and field event that many people run? Marathons.
Well,
all right. If it's Mara, it's Mara. I was just wondering.
Yeah, well, you know what? Now that I said that, I'm not 100% sure. And it doesn't necessarily matter, but you are right. Like, obviously, Marathon, Mara. But everyone says Mara. And I see in the chat, King Jesus just says Ma.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mara.
I don't know.
Mara doesn't have to be sure. It is Marathon. It is Marathon Digital, so I guess you could say Mara. Whatever. Either way, it just wicked the bottom, which for me is usually an out at this time. So I'm going to take it station to station. If we get VWAP, we get VWAP. Looking for the next opportunity here on Mara, whatever you happen to be calling it these days. And the other thing about 150 is at 50 period. We went over the 150 level a lot last week. And I do think we have another potential gap down that you can trade. But at this time, with the market trying to bounce here, I'm going to jump out and look for the next opportunity. I feel like I'm now looking bearish on AMD, which I wasn't before. So if we jump out of this, look for something on AMD. If it's underneath 143, I want to be short the stock. So 143, last couple of sessions, you can see the weakness when it got to that price. It broke it out, lower high VWAP. So if we get a nice little bounce, look for the VWAP retracement on AMD. Not really thinking the same thing on NVIDIA, although it is kind of setting up there on NVIDIA as well. Palantir, which was an idea to go long. Okay, it's getting close to $27 on Palantir. Patience. The dip zone in Palantir was this afternoon range, 27 to 27.25. It's actually bouncing off to 25 now, but with the market looking weak, I think we allow it to maybe drift a little bit closer into 27 even here on PLTR. Just got to be very, very patient with Palantir. This market is weak. I think if you're catching bids on a stock which has broken the lows, you're not obliged to just sit on a falling knife. I'd rather short the pop in the things that have worked on this next move up.
All right. Well, today we just went and got some of this right now. Oh, okay, here we go. Screw you, fruit salad. We're right back into this right now as NVIDIA is starting to go back upside here. So let's just see. Okay, there it is. We'll take a piece out. We're now 20 cents in the money. We're trying. Can we get 30? Can we get 30? Can we get 40 cents right now on a reload there for NVIDIA right now? There it goes. Yes, 118.84. Thank you, Chef Joe, for your kind comments there in the DMs. All right, nice move upside right there for NVIDIA. Again, 114.50. You got to find, look, you got to have outs, right? We talked about that. So there it goes right now. We stay strong with these trades that we have on board right now. And just hoping, not hoping, but, looking for more. I mean, it is, you know, you can hope for whatever you want, but at the same time, you know, you got to put in the work and you got to put in the effort. You know, it's like I'm sitting there watching the Olympics with my daughter, my son, my kids, my family, everybody, my dog, my cat, you know, and I just get really, I don't care really who wins the gold medal. It's really nice, and we talk about this congratulating traders around here all the time. You know, when there's some big days around here, we have no problem shouting it out. And I was watching the Olympics with my kids, and I was just like, wow, that was amazing. Like, good for that person. Meanwhile, and my daughter goes, well, Canada came in fourth. But I'm like, yeah, you know what? That French dude, it was in the medley or something, the swimming. I was like, this guy, you know, was ranked world #1. The whole crowd is there cheering for him. It's going absolutely insane, and he put on. You know, it's like when we had this tournament this week and I told the girls, I said, look, we're here to have fun. Fun is the #1 thing. But at the end of the day, you know, and I'm teaching this to 9 and 10-year-olds, but at the end of the day, you know, this is what we're here for. You know, the smiles on these girls' faces and I mean, what? You know, like this trophy, they're not even able to lift it, you know, and it's just like, this is what we're here for. You know, we're here for fun. We're here to have some good trades. We're here to have some good times. But at the end of the day, what are you trading for? You know, every single one of us here behind us, where is everybody, is trading, right, to make a little bit of that. And if you're looking for that same opportunity, I mean, come on our floor, you know. But Trade with Real Trading, the #1 sponsor of the show, again, right now, giving me all of, I mean, we've taken a lot of the opportunity, but you know, we've given the opportunity by the platform here for real trading. And I started with this company when we only had, I think it was 2 offices outside of Canada and maybe 13 worldwide. Right now we trade with over 3,000 traders in 50+ markets. It's been quite the run for us here at Real Trading. So make sure that you continue to join it up. And I can't stop looking at this, and we even have more up on Instagram if you guys want to look there as well. We got some pretty good stuff popping. Oh, here it is popping off over there. Here's some quick pictures before we go. As you know, like I said, we're here to have some fun here today. So there's the trophy you can see, huge. Shout out to Ancaster. They were an absolutely fantastic team to play as well. And then here we go. I mean, this is, you know, if you do something for anything, you know, just put on no matter what you're doing. There it is. I love her to death, of course, my daughter. And again, thank you so much for all the love and the support. Yo, what's up, Mr. O'Leary? Why you got so many watches on here, my guy? Right there. Here's my son as well. We went to go see Despicable Me. There's my daughter again. Oh, here's KO. What's up, KO? This is when me and Brendan were doing a podcast before. Starby's my lovely wife. Here's my daughter playing catcher. It is on to Adara. Big screen.
IWM pushing lower here, actually just at new lows of days after falling below that support area of 224. Worth noting that double top we had earlier this morning in the pre-market around that 226.40 area. So Russell 2000 giving up a little bit of strength today. Quite a few runners to talk about in the small cap side of things, including this online education company here, TWOU. The company is called 2U. On Thursday, they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Not seeing any new catalysts on this one today. They are up about 120%. Do have a bit of a smaller float for this one, so keep an eye on TWOU. We also have here this company here as well. We have on watch. This is that YIBO, Planet International. So keep an eye on this one here. They were a little bit higher, currently trading a little bit lower here on the day. No news on this. They did have their IPO in January, late January 2024. Float of about 27 million shares and lots of social media interest. Last but not least, keep an eye on SLRX. Solarius, this one has been on watch over the last few weeks, a little bit into the last week. They do have a short float of about 10%, float of about 560,000 shares, and a market cap around 1.9 million. So no catalyst, but small float, an interesting short float to keep an eye on here for SLRX, guys.
Yeah, good look, small cap, large cap, doesn't really matter. Trading opportunities are going to be there. That's what I said this on Friday several times, especially when we're talking with Ryan Faluna, who does trade small cap stocks. It doesn't matter. You know, at the end of the day, big cap, small cap, futures, crypto, moving around a little bit here today, earnings plays, that's what it's all about. Take advantage. So the only earnings name that wasn't McDonald's was this ON semiconductors. And here's a daily that's 79 on the daily. It's been holding VWAP really, really well today. But this breakout above 79 is trying to consolidate at that same price. So I like a VWAP dip. But the second a buyer stepped in here at 79 even, or buyers, whatever, like you just see the bid start to hold the 79 level is what I'm getting at. Gonna look for the play into 79 to 80. This is an upward trending stock. I feel like this is the 3M stock of the day. Friday, 3M just kept going higher and higher gently in an uptrend. If we get it off 79, great. If it bounces off VWAP, I think that's going to be a separate trade. So ON for the first time off 79 even. Going to take some out at the $0.50. And if it gets to 80 even, we'll get out there as well. I would be getting some kind of a pop with the market bouncing here to short into VWAP on AMD. We're getting there, but it's very, very slowly moving into VWAP for AMD. Gets to VWAP, I'm looking for shorts. And ARM, I want to get back into ARM, but we might not even see VWAP at this point. You're consolidating at the bottom. So a couple of names I'm looking fades on, AMD and ARM. Throw Apple on that list, but I doubt we get the price where we like Apple short unless the market's getting back to the high. That's a bit problematic because if you have a stock which is now holding VWAP and going up, to me that's a bit of a strong stock. So I think we'll get away from Apple temporarily and look to see what happens at 219 as opposed to just sit on the offer. Would rather short a weak stock like ARM or AMD than fight around with Apple here. And AMD is getting pretty close into VWAP. So just have your setups, know where you want to get it in good, and that's all you got to do. Get the chips in good where you can and let them fall where they might.
You want to talk about letting chips fall where they might? We have two $5 winners on board right now. We have ARM $5 in the money. This is why I'm saying, like, no matter, we'll see, and I'll look back behind me and they'll say, oh, it's slow because it's summertime, wintertime, crypto winter. Crypto winter,
well,
not really.
70,000, bro.
70,000, bro. Exactly. And that's the point I'm getting at. No matter what is happening, there is so much to trade. Look, I would have taken 10,000 shares if I knew that this was going to go $6 in the money, But we don't. We put down what we think is going to happen. We play the odds. And believe me, I'm no mathematician. I think I should be proof in point here that the smartest person is not necessarily the best trader. I'm nowhere near the IQ of half these guys. But you can see here, you find trades and you put them on, you do the work, and you do something that you're passionate about. And that, to me, is how you can win. This is the thing. This is what we teach the youth as well. Find something that you can be passionate about and then go for it. It's like during our podcast, we talked to, I forget his name now, Kunal? And, he's like, can't wait to get his kids involved in trading. Can't wait to tell my kids not to get involved in trading. If there's something that they're passionate about and they're passionate about trading, then let's go. I think I could be hopefully a great teacher, But this is something where I'm trying to explain to them all the time about how this works, what business is all about, And if they drift towards something else, that's what we'll do. They drift towards trading, this is what we'll do. And right now, I think you just got to be passionate about something. And that's why when you look around, the people that are here, I guarantee you Obi's here right now. You have to put in the time, be at your desk. I see Pat's here. Look, there's vacation times too. Take vacations. I'm not here next week. Make sure you put in the work, put in the time, right? And then at the end of the day, look down and figure out if this is a job for you. We may all love trading. There's no doubt about that. But are you successful at it? That is, that's the key thing here. Because you want to put money on the table. And the minute that you start stressing a little bit about your trades, about how things are going, that's when you tend to sort of spiral back in. So I've completely changed, as you guys can all see here every day on the show, changed style of trading. Much more relaxed, much more picking winners, hitting them for you. I watched the show on Friday a little bit and I was like, you know what? When I'm looking at the show, I love all these winners, and that's what we're trying to promote here for you. That's why I'll tell you if I'm 3-1, 0-4, 0-5, 7-1, whatever it is. You guys can decide what kind of share size you put on to some of these trades, but these are the ideas that have been working for me, and I am like super happy to share them and to share like, you know, what we're doing. And that's why we put out the sticky note and things like that, all for free, everything. You know, so it's part of it, and it's been really, really working. And then look what's happening here, Neil. 144 coming in for ARM. So far here, the two big trades, Tesla 228 break, which came out of nowhere, right? I mean, that 228 break was $6 away from its open. Still hit it, and still $6 in the money. ARM, completely. You know where my stop is on ARM right now? 150.40. 50 to 60 cents worth of risk for $6 winner. So right there, that's right there, 6 to 1, 10 to 1 right now on that. So yeah, I mean, things falling in, things really working out for us here today. Have that passion, have that desire, but always make sure you have this too. All right, today it takes my namesake a little bit here, not namesake, I guess heritage sake. We have grilled Italian sausage on a bun. Not bad. I mean, to me, it's sometimes a 6 on ARM.
Yeah. Okay, it's 10:30. I'll get to ON when we come back. It is time for an economic number and the crypto segment. Let's go to Adara.
This ARM is...
We're just waiting here in Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index for July. Previous number, negative 15.1. Forecast of negative 12 here. Just waiting in a second here to get this print. Seeing what this will come in at. And we're seeing some forecasts of negative 15.5. So a couple different potential numbers to keep an eye on here for this Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index. We're going to check in and see if we have this number in after the crypto segment. But in terms of crypto itself, we did have that Nashville conference for Bitcoin 2024 conference. Over this weekend, it was July 25th to 27th. We did have a higher move in Bitcoin as a result of this conference. Specifically, we had some comments from former president and current presidential nominee here, Donald Trump, speaking on with regards to a strategic crypto reserve being built. There was also some comments from Senator Loomis of Wyoming with regards to this crypto reserve. So a lot of interesting comments being made with regards to Bitcoin and crypto, of course, at this Bitcoin conference over the weekend. Definitely worth checking out and being aware of. We do have a topping tail candle forming right now for Bitcoin on the daily chart. As of this morning, we were near the 70,000 level. Now we're pulling back to around 68.7 for BTC as it continues its upward trajectory here on the daily chart. We have Bitcoin here right now up about 1.5%. Ethereum also pulling back earlier today, up around 3,400 now, just above that 3,300 area, but strength across the board for crypto. Solana here up 2.5%, BNB up 1.5%, Cardano up 1.5%. Bit of weakness in Tron, but other than that, generally a lot of these crypto names making some gains as we head into the rest of this pretty exciting week across the board, guys.
Yeah, I'd say a pretty exciting week. You get, like we said, it's a Super Bowl of earnings, oddly enough, while we're in training camp for the actual NFL, but you know, at the end of the day, it's not just about what you're waiting for; it's what's in front of you. So, market putting in a lower high when the numbers hit at 10:30 just now. The setup happened here instead of VWAP. I said this on Friday. VWAP's a line on a chart, and it's a good line on a chart to use. But when the level shows you 142 and not 142.5, this is the setup I like for a short. It's wick high underneath it. So we jump in here just underneath 141.90, and we'll see if we can scalp the first $0.5 move here on AMD. The second AMD got back underneath 143, which was resistance last week. It's okay, what's the opportunity? If it's breaking out above and holding 43, it's bullish. If it's breaking back down underneath, I'm bearish. That's the point of having a key level. So we'll work with AMD to the south side. ARM doesn't want to pop. NVIDIA now 115 looks like resistance as well, but it's just a little stronger than AMD. Like it's getting all the way to VWAP, 1.3% to the upside on NVIDIA, and whereas AMD, it's about the same percentage-wise, but I just feel like this was a bigger failed breakout and holding a little bit more weakness on AMD. I could be wrong about that, but we're going to stick with this one short, and I'll give a chance for NVIDIA to get back above VWAP and maybe continue some longs there. So 142 short, looking for this 140.5 bottom, and rinse and repeat on AMD. ON, just kind of holding the line here. So it's a glide to the upside, already up 13%, but I'm long off 79s. I have it. My stop is just right down there about 78.80 because I think VWAP's got to be a separate trade for me at 78 even. Great trend to the upside on ON and good report. Well, at least the market thinks it's a good report. But we got to wait for VWAP to come in. And Derek S. saying Rivian should pop now. Really? Yeah, I like Rivian short today, but that was way, way up here on Rivian. Wow, Rivian is super weak. Rivian down 1% into Tesla running. Just shows you the difference between some of the EV names that actually make money and those that don't.
Yep.
Well, this is a flat bottom break on Rivian. I might want to be short this stock. I liked it to 1680 up top, but you're clearly not going to get to short that level today.
All right, I'm going to do something that we like to do on the show because why not? We have the best of them. Let's do a roll call. So let's find out who's here. And again, you know what? Like, I was just looking at the chat there, and honestly, like, thank you so much. I mean, just the fact that, you know, you guys are listening and you know, just here for this. You know, we talk about this all the time on the show, right? And that is that honesty and respect and integrity and all that kind of stuff matters. And you know, I think that we prove that every single day. So pro day trader, I cannot, needs to bottle and sell this intuition and instincts. Now we'll pass on that for now. But Zion, we cannot be president. Of course, prime minister, not even. I don't even speak fluent French, let alone have a U.S. passport. But thank you so much for all that. And then here it is right here. What's up to Hey Davis? Again, just want to say this to you. Thank you for your pure honesty and heartfelt message. This is, you know, we're trying. Oh, NX Hamster. I should write a speech for Trump. I don't even write speeches for myself, let alone speeches for Trump. But thank you so much. What's up to Rock Doc? It's Kenny D is here. It's Francis is here. Hold my beer. I mean, the kind of day we're having here, if you give me your beer, that might just get Stone Cold Steve Austin to raid around here. What's up to Calum? What's up to Godsped? What's up to Hamster? We love you too, buddy. What's up to Lion Talk Live? Derek Thompson's in the building. Rainmaker's here. Darius Golden is here. As Tesla is now $5 in the money. Professor, school is in on this side, my guy, today, as it is $7 now on ARM. And again, the two big trades brought to you by El Sticky Note today as well. What's up to World of Trading? What's up, Mark, TX Trader, Compu? Yo, what up, CompuCare team? Join me tonight with Big Dog Michael Noss. As you know, we'll be killing it on that market recap show with everyone's favorite Adara coming through tonight as well. Should be a lot of hot fire. We're back, baby. Freeze up city today. Yeah, you're right. Has YouTube been frozen? If so, just hit the refresh on that one. Yo, what's up, Sebastian? What's up, Leon, and everybody that's out there? Hey, Kyle Burdett, you want the cash cow? I mean, that's exactly what we're doing. And when Kyle asks for something and I don't give it to you, then Shreve looks at me and wants to be like, yo, what am I saying to my guy Kyle Burnett over here? You know what I'm saying? So there it is. Let's get that cow going. That's for my guy Ozen and Neil, man. I mean, we bring the fire all the time. So there it is right now. Glad to be here with Neil. Glad to be here with Obi. Often duplicated, never imitated. It's Trader TV Live. We are not going anywhere. We keep telling you that, and we keep coming back as right there. We are at the highest spot we've now been at all damn day long. It don't matter if it's bearish. We've got $7 now in the money on ARM. $7 now in the money on ARM as that one goes. I mean, you know, we don't need to talk about which one's P&L 1 or 2 because Tesla still remains up there as well as we continue to go. So far, so good here on what has been a pretty historic Monday.
Historic Monday and market lows. We just got the reload again on AMD. So you got to be able to switch it up, man. I came in today, AMD and NVIDIA could break out. AMD broke out. NVIDIA kind of didn't. NVIDIA is actually looking stronger of the two. And that's what you got to go to. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like your initial idea, if the market decides that that is wrong, you got to be able to pivot away from it. So if you hold 143, great. I'm probably long the stock all day long. But if you're underneath VWAP and you're underneath 143, that's why we like the key price. ARM, I think like it did not hold at the level where that buyer was on Thursday. Here, that was right here. It was a wild, like again, it was a wild trade. I hadn't seen quite anything like it from 42 to 44. I dipped out at the pre-market low. There hasn't been a dip, so I looked for the other opportunity that we could short, which ended up being AMD, and we'll hold on to that one. But we're now seeing some real weakness in the overall market. McDonald's, Mick Y just said, is heading to the downside. Still a strong stock, though. Like, I know McDonald's is pulling back in. I'd still feel like, hey, maybe look for a buy the dip. Maybe you get 256. Previous resistance was right around here at 260. I think when a stock is doing this, it falls into the bucket of things that you might be willing to dip by. And I also pivoted on Apple. You have to be able to do that. Like Apple putting in higher lows, hasn't gotten back up to that 219.5 resistance. So we just wait for it to hold underneath. Maybe we get a breakdown. Like if it holds underneath VWAP and breaks this down at 217.5, like that's the first place I shorted and it lost. But if it goes back down there and shows weakness, then I'll short that level again. But not while it's looking like a relatively strong stock. This one's green, holding some higher lows in here. Just got to be a little bit patient with it. I haven't really looked at any of those small caps, but I hear some people talking about that Longeveron. I don't mind jumping over to this because guess what? That $4, looking pretty good. Higher lows all the way through, maybe trapped some shorts. Feels like you could have trapped some shorts down here at about 380. And if you're going to hold $4 and break out 430, Longeveron worth a decent look. But yeah, not a lot of relative volume in some of these other small cap names. We're going to be AMD, ARM if it even wants to pop. NVDA is still in the pocket. And Palantir, I don't know about you, Sean, but
I haven't looked at it, to be honest with you.
it just, like Palantir, it's held 27 quarter. No test of 27 even, which is where I wanted to be a buyer of the stock. It's now double bottomed on Friday's highs. And that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 7 or 8 times it got to 27.25, and now it's double bottoming at that same price. Maybe the long is just there on Palantir and not 27 even. So if I'm pivoting away from 27 even, if we get a triple bottom on Palantir, I'll take a shot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely a strong name there. We looked at 27 before, yeah, it just didn't.
Won't get there.
Yeah, I mean, that was, we had said if it gets into this level, it's probably worth the first dip buy opportunity, and it kind of got to that 50 period there, 27.10 or so, so it could have been tested for 10 cent worth of risk. But for me today, again, like Neil mentioned about pivoting, it's like, if Palantir's not doing what we thought it would, I mean, we thought we could get to 26 if it really tanked. The market's flat, so it's not doing anything. And then also a 28 break. So I'll stand by the 28 break. I mean, that's going to be a name that we liked breaking higher. It just got to 27.80. Like, we're not far away from that play for sure. I just want to update before we go over to Adara. I mean, Tesla now being $5 is great, and it is near the high and trying to break out. So we're going to hold that, and I'm going to use the 50 period now for the remainder. So 231.75 or so here for the remainder on Tesla. We'll see if that one can continue to work. But in what's been a great day for us so far, we've got this NVIDIA long. I mean, it just bounced again off 114.50. I was waiting for 114.20s to get more, but now that I see that, I'll put on again maybe 10% more. Just like how I get out when key levels are starting to hit, we can get in the same way. I mean, most of the time I get in like whoosh and try to just whoosh it in there. That's like a new thing. Whooshing stocks. So like if that's something that we can get in, great. I mean, we whooshed the what out of this one. As this broke, I mean, it's amazing that we're long at 227.99. So it must have broke or there was a dark pool. And then again, our key, I use Fox River, I think that's what it's called, that punched in and we got below 228. So, saves us about a penny. Probably, I was crossed up 20 pennies there, so I consider that a good fill, obviously. As now Tesla continuing to go to the upside, I got to go pick up passports after this and have a lemon tea of some sort, and then we will be right back here. Oh, don't even tell me. What is Disney doing right now? If it's at 92. Okay, so here we go. Thanks for bringing it out. And there it goes. What's up to Zoila? I haven't seen you in the chat there. There it is, Zoila. What's up, Zoila? What's up, Zoila? Disney right there making its move up to 9 deuce. So I do like that one right there as well. So a potential break long maybe if it holds. I mean, it's a nice move. I like the short, but hey, it hasn't been short all day. So we'll think about that one. ARM 5, Tesla 5, NVIDIA 25, and Adara at the green.
Pretty mixed look here for a lot of these sectors, though we do have some outside strength in consumer services. This group being led here to the upside by McDonald's after its earnings. They did miss, but I guess traders responding positively to their earnings call. Also in the sector, Chipotle trading higher after selling off a little bit after its earnings, and Starbucks also on watch. They report tomorrow after the bell. We also have here this technology services sector a little bit stronger here. Google, Microsoft, and Meta all trading higher. Microsoft and Meta reporting this week. CrowdStrike also looking to make a bit of a bottom, though we do have some weaker names in the sector as well, like CRM, Adobe, and Accenture. Bit of a mixed look here in this electronic technology sector. Keep an eye on AMD, this one trading higher. They report tomorrow after the bell. Finance pretty much weaker across the board. Energy, minerals weaker. We have a lot of weakness here in retail trade. Walmart to the downside here, and a bit of weakness in the health services sector. We do have a little bit more mixed sentiment in health technologies and producer manufacturing, but generally a lot of indecision across this board, with the exception of that strong consumer services sector and weak energy mineral sector, guys.
Yes, strong. Like Nike is super strong. So we talked about the I don't know, call it the Olympics effect. I know there's like a lot of mixed feelings about the Olympics, especially that opening ceremony. But it is up 1% and actually breaking and continuing higher. I don't know where to join Nike, because it's like it held 43. Sorry, it held 73 very clean, went to the $0.50. I feel like 73 is going to make a lot of sense on this stock. I can't help but notice two things. One, whatever is going on at 115 on NVIDIA is very specific to $115. Like, look at this thing. VWAP happens to be here, but look at the selling at 115 even on NVIDIA. I feel like that should be a join. I'm in AMD off of this. Like, it just wicked me out, and I jump right back in off of 142. Like, every time it wicks 142, I'm just jumping back into this. But NVIDIA 115 looks pretty good as well for an opportunity. Yeah, I'm going to do some work on Nike, because I feel like that's a good, strong one. So Palantir, here it comes. I said if it made a triple bottom at 227.25, I'll look for the long. Have not traded it yet. This would also be holding green at 27.18. The low, like the low of the day, is right now the exact close on Palantir. To the wick, the low of the day is the exact close. So if we bounce off that a third time, I mean, that's got to be worth a shot. They got an upgrade from Jefferies. I know it was like a price target raise from Jefferies and a contract today, but a little bit of weakness. So it has to be very tight stop. I want it bouncing at 20 before I jump into it. So we're just back into AMD at this point, and looking at that 115 on NVIDIA. It's either an obvious trap or just an obvious short. And if you can scalp it with a 15, 20 cents worth of risk, I think it's worth it at that 115. So Palantir feels like it's coming before that, though. All right. All right. Steve, was it Steve J right there? Yeah. How much do I hold? So we had 20% left. So when it came down to here, we actually did pretty good. I mean, that first out is like 80 cents. I mean, it's going to look like we didn't take that much here, but remember, like that's $3. And then this as a 144. So, like 150 down to 144, we're trading prop money. Like this is not, it's not like I have millions of dollars in my own account to throw around here, but here we sure do. So it's like, that's the kind of stuff that I'm trading right now. And oh no, guys, oh no, right here, as we continue to see what's up with this, and that is our friend NVIDIA starting to get going one more time here. I like a lot right now with NVIDIA. So let's see if we can get back up to the upside. We just reloaded it. I thought I was sitting here getting something out. Oh, it's not out till 90s. All right, let's put an offer here at 7.9er and see if we can take that one out right now. A nice little bump upside now for NVIDIA. Let's go. We just reloaded it there at 50, but I do understand that it seems to be very much range bound. But guess what? Your boy does really good at range bound trading as well. I mean, that's sort of where we started with everything. So let's wait to see here range bound trading coming through maybe on NVIDIA, but I still like the long. I prefer the long, so we'll sit in the long right now. And talk about preferring the long. I mean, yeah, I don't know what you guys were having for dinner or for lunch. We're having sausage around here. Another sausage fest kind of day. You can see right here, 233, 232.25. Let's change it, guys. Again, Sticky Note Nation standing up and proud today, because there it is, man, 228 break, giving you just a ho-hum $6 winner right now for Tesla. And if you're looking for these kind of trades, hopefully we'll be able to provide them
for you all of the time as Neil and I continuously looking for what we believe to be the best ideas out there. So there it goes, Tesla, man, now 234. I know the professor likes Elon, and there it is, a nice move, and so do I. Now $6 in the money for Tesla. And I said, man, there's been millionaires upon millionaires made by holding on and day trading this stock as well. And there goes Tesla. Just another day in the office here for Tesla traders as it goes another $6 straight to the upside, man. I mean, off earnings was wild. And again, right now, another wild day there for Tesla. So congratulations, anybody that's following the note.
Absolutely. And shout out to you. Thank you, Zin Ming Lee, for the super chat there. We appreciate you. All we ask is do what I did just right there. If you like the show, hit that like, hit that subscribe. And I wanted to answer the question from Rascals here in the chat. All trades that you see for us are at real trading, which is a prop floor. So yeah, absolutely. We're trading on a prop desk, which means you have your account, you've got your daily loss limit, you're trading firm capital there, you've got your price targets. Usually everyone's going to have their own risk, price targets and P&Ls and stops based on where they're at. But you are trading firm capital for a commission when you're at real trading. That's what it's all about. So that we're only equity traders as well. So we're trading equities on a prop desk. I said there might be a trap at 115, but we're not getting to 115 anymore. So missed opportunity. Actually, no. The missed opportunity certainly on NVIDIA. It doesn't quite get to 115. So when you get the big reversal is when you're not actually getting to that level, but the sellers inbound. We'll just cancel that VWAP offer now that you're starting to come in a little bit more heavily. Palantir, we're taking red to green, as long as it stays green, consolidation at 30, you break the low, we're going to jump out. We'll go over to the desk.
That's what we about.
It is time for a little money talk, see how the old USD is doing.
Lots of support here for the DXY on the daily chart at that 104.10 area, which was previously support resistance level. As you can see here, we're continuing to have bottoming tail candles bouncing off of this level. Great day here today, though, for the DXY. We're at highs of days right now on the day, pushing up into that 104.75 area, which was also a little bit of a previous area of support for the DXY going back to mid-June. So keep an eye here. Good look right now for the US dollar on the day. We did get the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Business Index for July, a little bit lower than the previous print, negative 17.5 versus a prior print of negative 15.1. Some economic data coming later this week, though, to be aware of. Tomorrow, we get the JOLTS job openings at 10 a.m. Then we'll get another economic report with regards to jobs on Friday with the NFPs at 8:30 a.m. And of course, be aware of the FOMC meeting coming on Wednesday. We'll have the FOMC rate decision at 2 and then comments from Fed Chair Jerome Powell in a Q&A at 2:30. So lots on the horizon right now for the DXY and the U.S. economy in general, guys.
Oh, come on, Kathy, get in there and start buying some NVIDIA right now. Okay, so we're probably going to slip out on this one, man. We just got some more out there at 114, but this is going to the downside. We thought we would take this one. Sorry, that's still Tesla right here at NVIDIA. So I thought we could try it at the 200 period, which was 20s. We took a little small piece, and then we took it right into here, into the pre-market. So this is why I'm long. Right now, NVIDIA into those pre-market bottoms. Let's see if it can get back up to the upside. It's definitely not looking like it right now. So NVIDIA struggling to the bottom. I have offers in the teens. Let's see if we can get out. We just took some pressure off at 114 right there to get a little bit out. So our average price is actually not 113.92 if you take into consideration everything that we've been having. So it's more like 114.20 or so. So it needs to get going up there. I mean, I'll tell you at the end of this trade if I'm up or down on NVIDIA, but obviously holding this against me right here. If it does stop out, we will be red on it. Breaking through 113.70 was going to be my out. So 113.70 is like that pre-market level right there that we broke higher. So let's see if it can get going. It just tried 14s again. Let me put an offer here at 02s. Let's start to take a little bit out now and see if it can climb a little bit higher. I'll take one more piece out. I mean, we're playing with shares. We're playing with big shares. So, I mean, we can take it out if it goes back up to the upside, but we can see it holding it. We're really playing with house money today, but you still don't want to, throw good money after bad or vice versa. So let's just keep making the same trades that we think are right. We're going to try to support this bottom here on NVIDIA, but if it loses 15 more cents, we will get out and put an L on the board today with NVDA.
Yeah, and likewise on I was going to say Tesla, Palantir. Palantir wicked the bottom and then came right back. So we're in that zone that we liked Palantir on a dip. It held the first time. We tried it the second time. No, it wicked the low. We'll give it to a fresh low of the day. And if it breaks that, we're jumping out of Dodge. Obviously, NVIDIA at that 115 looks decent. But I did mention with Tesla strong and Rivian weak, I'd look for some kind of a gap fill on Rivian. But it's holding $16 pretty well here. If we lose if the stock loses 16, I'd look for a join down there on RIVN. I don't know if we're going to get a short the pop situation. 1570 is the local bottom. So if it loses 16, I think you do have at least 1.5%, maybe 2% that this could continue the downside. It's only down 0.7% on Rivian with a nice downward trend. I think you always want to be with the trend if you can. Usually, I mean, sometimes, you know what? Sometimes you have to fade a top or maybe go long at a bottom. The other thing I have eyeballs on is this pretty obvious range on Intel for the middle of the day. VWAP is holding like an absolute charm at this point. So I think if you get to VWAP, short it exactly there, 29.30 is going to be a fade as well. So ARM is not popping much. It doesn't want VWAP. 145 looks like resistance. Palantir is about to give it up as well. I'm double checking Apple. Still, it's only now holding underneath VWAP for Apple. So rejoining the short is starting to set up for me. But this market is teetering on the precipice. I think it's time to look back into some shorts. If we lose this bid, got to be back into some shorts. AMD, maybe NVIDIA, certainly Intel, Rivian, and potentially Apple here underneath VWAP are going to be plays. I don't think you want to necessarily rush into anything at these levels. But yeah. The market looking a little bit weak here. So the things that are now starting to fail VWAP, possibly some new shorts that we could be in after mostly semis only.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, mainly. Well, yeah, short. Yeah, definitely had that short. I still have the. I mean, we're still. I mean, how many times does this happen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, $7 in the money on ARM and looking for lower on this one. Pretty much, I think ARM at 150 was probably. I mean. Look, Tesla breaking because we had it. We talked about it. Probably the easiest trade, but I would say second easiest trade and probably one that all of us should have and be making our day on, honestly, is ARM. I mean, this one at 150, like we saw that it came up and like this was like, we're waiting for this to happen, right? So when it does happen, that's when you make money. That's when you're supposed to make money. So like when ARM gives you the trade that you're looking for, this is what happens. You know, you put it on and you make money. That's the whole idea, you know, is to make money on trades that you like. And we definitely did that today with ARM. A trade that I didn't like was NVIDIA, but at least we got out of it. Look at it falling like a rock right now. We talked about getting it out at 69, and that's exactly what we did. And now we save ourselves a little bit of cashish here as that falls back in as well. Look at Tesla. Great trading on that one. Fire off the hot dog gun for, again, the biggest trade for me of the day, easily, obviously, is Tesla as we hold it from that break all the way there. It breaks through the 50-period moving average, which is 230, 235. So we get that out. We give up about $1.50 or so from our best spot. But at the end of the day, a winner, as they say, is a winner. And that is a monster. And then, Neil, $8 on ARM. I mean, we're still going. You're still, oh, no, I saw you looking at Rivian there. But Palantir, we got the long. You got the short in Apple. And then you had that ON semi. What happened with that one? What's ON at? 79. Nice. $80 there for ON. So
right, Apple.
Good trade there on ON.
I just got short in Apple, which Apple's been a relatively strong stock. So we'll see what it does here. It just held right underneath VWAP and started breaking down. So when this local bottom broke, I jumped into it. VWAP's at 218 even. So I think we're obviously going to give it to just above that. We're short it early. And then we're short it, I don't want to call it late, but at a better price. And early, I mean like minutes into the day. Wanted us on a, it wasn't a big story, the delay on the iPhone AI features, but it was somewhat of a story for Apple to the negative side. Ended up popping into resistance on Friday, and that's when it was good at that 19 level. So we're going to hold underneath VWAP, great. If we don't, I think I got to jam out of this one at the 218 level. Rivian, I'm not in. Rivian is, it's like very, very close to breaking the bottom, but it's right here. Just chilling at $16 and trying to go a little bit sideways here. I feel like this is going to be one that could fall I mean, precipitously. The way Tesla's going compared to this, I think it's going to be a good opportunity to go short. And Apple, we'll see. It's a bit of a strong stock. I feel like we could have waited a little bit longer. And the reason for that is you have the NASDAQ just right here towing the line at the bottom. If we were to bounce, I think Apple is the kind of stock that could easily lead us back into the upside. But it's underneath VWAP, which does fit a bit of a pattern for me that I do like. And one more for you guys that we have not really mentioned too much here today that I liked an over-under on Microsoft at 430. It ends up being a failed break of that level, so it never really set up. At 930, it was literally failing the price that I thought it was a long over, so there was never an opportunity there. Want to keep eyeballs on this. If it retakes 430 in the afternoon, I'm going to like a long in Microsoft. And reason being is I like this level in here at that 430, and I am kind of bullish over bearish on it. I suppose you could short it as well, and it would have worked. But I'm just going to wait around to see if it catches a bid over $430. So we still have pound TRF 27. Apple pretty much right here, but we got to be cautious. Futures are at a tipping point, and the better level for Apple was at that 219. So risking about 30 to 40 cents on Apple, looking for it to press down to the opening range lows, which is around 217 even. So if we get that, great. If we don't, we got to be willing to admit that Apple is a little stronger than we expected.
All right, everybody. Yeah, I put in the chat that it hasn't been the easiest day here today. So, stick with what you're doing. I mean, we're having a good day. We just gave back a little bit. We'll give back on that NVIDIA trade as we look at where our net is right now. We'll give back about 25% or so of our day trying to chase this NVIDIA down there. But just like we were raising up some trophies over the weekend, today will be a trophy day here. So that's good. But again, we did give some back. All of our trades really sort of happened early. I mean, this ARM trade was 9:45, and like I said, to me, this is the cleanest trade of the day by far. And again, probably one of the easiest 200 period rate there. Sorry, 50 period on the 20-minute chart right there. Chasing that NVIDIA was tough. Jensen's selling ahead of big tech earnings, I would think maybe a little bit there. Tesla, I mean, one of the better trades, I would think, of the day. And then Mara, as we continue to sort of watch out to see where this one's going. Sort of the back and forth here with crypto. I mean, crypto has been, and we're going over here, but, they're over there on the other side ready to go. You could see what crypto's been doing here just for the last, I have like 1 second, then 15 minutes. Let's just go over to the last minute chart here that we can look at. There's the high that was made basically right before we went on air. And as you can see right now with what's been happening with BTC, just pretty much a straight downside push into 68,000. So that trade does not last very long. Okay, I'm off to go get passports. Thank you so much for everybody for watching. Thanks to Neil there, Ramin, Fabian, and everybody. Patrick, the professor.
Market just took the low.
Adrian, the market just take the low. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, we are now $9 in the money. Stay hydrated, family. We're coming back at 2 p.m. Until then, ciao, on to the best show here.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as that Midday